It is 10:01. Good morning from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Lucas Panzica. The 2025 NFL regular season schedule officially comes out tonight at 7 p.m. with the special on NFL Network. Ari Myrov reported yesterday that the Titans will open the season with a trip to Denver to face the Broncos for a 3:05 p.m. kickoff on Fox. The Titans made a pair of signings on Tuesday, and former Lions and Cowboys cornerback Amani Oruwariye and defensive lineman Carlos Watkins. The team also grabbed linebacker Amari Burnley off of waivers. NBA playoffs, the Indiana Pacers are moving on to the Eastern Conference Finals after a Game 5 win over Cleveland, 114-105. In the West, the Thunder took a 3-2 series lead over the Nuggets with a 112-105 home win. In the NHL, the Dallas Stars have a 3-1 lead over the President's Trophy winning Jets after winning 3-1 last night. In college baseball, Tennessee picked up its 40th win of the season on Tuesday night with a 9-4 victory over Belmont. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Good morning. Welcome into 104.5 The Zone. We got schedule release day. Lucas is bitching and moaning because they're waiting until 7 p.m. tonight to draw out the suspense, even though I think Jordan Schultz of Fox has tweeted their entire NFL lineup for the regular season already. What nonsense. Anyway, we will talk about the dates that we know. In fact, I've just booked my trip for Denver because that is where, according to multiple reports, including Jordan Schultz of Fox Sports First, because it will be on Fox, the Titans will travel to Denver for Week 1 and Cam Ward's debut as, well, theoretically Cam Ward's debut. We would imagine Cam Ward's debut, but, to hear them tell it, well, just let us get through the competition. Understandably so. So we're expecting to see Cam Ward versus Bo Nix in Denver, Mile High, Week 1. 615-737-1045 is how you react to the things that we will be talking about today. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch also is available for your reaction. If you would like to live stream the show, you can do that at your pleasure. Good morning, boys.
Titans finally hit the big time. 3:05 p.m. Central. Goodbye noon kickoffs. A thing of the past. Week 1, the first chance the NFL gets. Guys, we cannot put Cam Ward.
That's how you're spinning this?
We cannot bury him in the noon slate. 3:05. Oh, the spotlight. It feels like bliss.
That's how that's what they're going to qualify as a primetime game for the Titans. They're just going to stick them at 3:05 Central Time and be like, "Well, we did it.
Let's do it. Let's move the goalposts.
Game.
Let's move the goalposts on primetime games." At 3 o'clock in the afternoon is pretty prime for me.
Well, yes, it's ideal for everybody involved. Nothing better for the working purposes than a noon kickoff, if I'm being completely honest. You are a fan of the primetime games and again, fans, we understand that we're working through this from a different prism. I don't know if you feel differently as a fan.
Fans want primetime games.
Sure, of course, fans. I'm asking you specifically, you as a fan, versus your obligations for Titans Radio, because you're basically done an hour after the game, right?
Pretty much.
Okay.
I host post-game and, get off the air after network post-game wraps up, an hour after the clock hits zeros.
So I despise primetime because it means that's about a wrap-up at around 2 to 3 a.m., depending on how long the press conferences and things like that take. But I completely understand. Yes,
you can just
I know.
Go home.
I understand. That's not really how that works.
And nobody's stopping you.
Well, that's true. In fact, they would love for me to leave earlier than I do, but that's just what it is. And for fans, though, I don't know how the value of Cam Ward. What is the value of Cam Ward to the NFL? That's ultimately what the question is, because there's not another star on the football team. Not a single other star on the football team. Is there a single household name on the Tennessee Titans not named Cam Ward?
Household name?
Household name. Like every one person or somebody from each fan base in 32 markets could name, or 31 markets, a Tennessee Titan.
People know who Tyler Lockett is, but I bet most NFL fans don't even know that he's a Titan because that kind of just slid under the radar the night before the draft started.
Sure. Maybe they know now because he's literally tweeted everybody on the football team.
But still, I think that'll be a thing where like week 3 or 4 or whenever the Titans get a primetime game, fan in Milwaukee will be like, oh, Tyler Lockett's a Titan. Okay, I missed that one over the offseason.
It's like the Anquan Bolden Lion year.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, what's he doing in Detroit?
Yeah, but short answer is no, not necessarily. I mean,
Calvin Ridley's probably close.
Calvin Ridley's close. Jeffrey Simmons is close. Calvin Ridley a little more so than Jeff just because he's a receiver. And
Calvin has played in a major market as opposed to Jeff, who's been here the entire time. So Cam Ward is the most recognizable name on the football team immediately. Maybe Tony Pollard because he came by way of the Cowboys, but I wonder how many people know where Tony Pollard ended up after his Cowboys career.
I'm trying to figure out how many primetime games the Panthers got during Bryce Young's rookie year. Because Charlotte market, I think it's in the same category as the Nashville market. Bad football team, number 1 overall pick, Bryce Young, who was coming from obviously a very prestigious program.
That was the 2023
season. So I'm looking at their schedule. They had 1 Monday night game and 1 Thursday night game. I can't see here which of their Sunday games were Sunday night games, if they got any. So I can look up the Sunday night schedule for 2023. But they had at least 2 in Bryce Young's rookie year, which was a dreadful season.
So what are we setting the over-under at, 1.5?
1.5, I think.
And I bet most people would probably bet over, just say 2. But I think most people assume that everybody has to play on Thursday Night Football still, and that's just not the case. The Titans' last Thursday Night Football game was the Todd Downing DUI game, if I remember correctly. To my knowledge, they didn't have I don't think we did a Thursday night game in 2023. The last Thursday nighter I remember was at Green Bay.
2022? Well, no, they had a Thursday nighter later that season against Dallas. Remember the game that just didn't have any playoff implications. Josh Dobbs first start.
That's right.
That was later in the 2022 season, but I think you're right. I don't think there's
so it would have been 22, Green Bay and Dallas, and then they did not put them on Thursday Night Football last year and the year prior, if memory serves. So
yeah, the Panthers did not have a Sunday night game during Bryce Young's rookie year. They had exactly 2 primetime games.
I'm genuinely curious what the value of Cam Ward to the NFL is, because he's not even the most famous quarterback in his draft class, but that most famous quarterback in his draft class, the 5th-round pick, who's probably not going to start. He can make a difference eventually, but I don't know if that's going to be in the onset. I don't know if the NFL is going to go out of their way to put Tennessee Titans games on TV. I mean, other than, sticking them, relegating them to the noon slot, which I think Titans fans are largely fine with. I mean, once you earn the right to be in front of more people, then I think Titans fans would probably relish the opportunity. Like, how many people this year genuinely want the Titans to have multiple primetime games? Truly. To put them before they're really anything. We have no idea what they're going to be. How many did Washington get last year?
They definitely got multiple. I remember that Monday night.
That's a way bigger market.
That electric Monday night game. Oh, Joseph Bonanno has just texted, the last Thursday night game was actually against the Steelers 2023. Will Levis' second start.
NPF's return.
Yes, it was right after that 4-touchdown performance against Atlanta.
The Commanders had 3 time prime games last year. Monday Night Football against the Bengals, Thursday Night Football against the Eagles, and another primetime game against the Dallas Cowboys.
Do you want to tell him, or do you want me to tell him? You're probably nice about it.
I think that's what we should just change. I actually think that makes more sense.
Time prime?
Yeah, the time is prime.
Should we change the name of A to Z prime time to time prime?
It don't matter to me what you call it.
He doesn't know what he did.
I support it.
615-737-1045 is the number. If you want to jump in, we'd be happy to have you. Like I said, if you have any thoughts on the Titans' schedule, if you have any particular rooting interest for what the schedule looks like tonight, you've got a variety of different opponents. It's the first time they're going to play, for example, in Las Vegas. They will be in Las Vegas for the first time at the Magical Roomba. At some point, depending on how these things get out there or when they get out there this evening, we will have full reaction, speaking of time prime or prime time, on A to Z Sports Primetime tonight after the schedule is released. We typically get those things about 15 minutes before, but we are not allowed to share those with you until 7 p.m. sharp. So we will do that, and then we will react as a result together. Now, you love primetime games because you get a weekend out of it.
Well, I mean, I also do enjoy, like any Titans fan, seeing the Titans in the spotlight and, not just the week after week mundane noon kickoff. I like to switch it up a little bit. I like those games. They have a different feel to them. They feel like a bigger deal, and it is a bonus that it frees up a weekend, yes. And for the purpose of Thursday Night Football, like a mini bye week is valuable for the football team.
Oh, sure. No, last year sucked for a great many reasons, but you brought this up right before the show started. When was the bye? The bye was week 5.
Week 5, and the Monday night game was week 4
so
when you're dealing with the college football crew, basically, in that doubleheader situation.
So we went straight through from week 6 on with that terrible football team. And just noon kickoff after noon kickoff, and then the Chargers game shoved in the middle of there, even though that was a 1 p.m. Pacific Coast game. It was taxing for a number of different reasons, and I think added to the monotony and the drudgery of what the 2024 Titan season was. So we'll see if they don't have a more favorable schedule with the bye stuff. We'll talk about the schedule, things that we know. But in the meantime, we're going to talk about some basketball. We've got at least one Eastern Conference final participant as of last night. Is Ron Slay going to be in the building?
As far as I know.
All right, we'll find out next. Hit the buzzer beater with your retirement goals. Call Trajan Wealth today, and they'll walk you through the process with their tailored wealth management solutions. The simple truth is that there is more to retirement planning, for example, than simply calculating your expenses. Trajan Wealth can help you design a strategy based on realistic options that align with your goals and with your circumstances. If you're interested in wealth management that's designed to protect, maintain, and expand your financial portfolio, then Trajan Wealth is here for you. They offer retirement income planning services that start with an in-depth understanding of your short and long-term goals. So call Trajan Wealth today to learn more about these strategies. 615-270-5000. That's 615-270-5000. There are 2 locations here locally, Brentwood and Franklin, or online at TrajanWealth.com. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. This is a paid advertisement. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. 615-737-1045, the number, if you want to jump in. In the meantime, we expect to have Ron Slay here at some point. We will talk a little hoops with him. It was a fun night of basketball last night. The Indiana Pacers outlasting the Cleveland Cavaliers, who, I mean, I guess you can just chalk it up to injury, how badly the Cavs failed in this spot, because that is one of the series that you would point to with all the different pieces and parts that they were missing and say, yeah, okay, that makes sense. If they're right, they probably beat Indiana 9 times out of 10, but they weren't. They were missing a bunch of people. Also, Steph Curry already ruled out. They're saying that, I mean, the latest he would be, or the earliest he would be able to return is the next game.
Which is tonight.
No, not. He's already been ruled out tonight.
I see what you're saying.
He's already been ruled out tonight.
3-1 lead for the T-Wolves tonight. So,
yeah.
Warriors better survive.
Not ideal. So, we'll talk some hoops with Slay here in just a little bit. But in the meantime, what are the other games that we have that we know are being played out there? Times, dates, opponents, based on some of the leaks that are coming out at this point. You have the full schedule release scheduled for 7 p.m. tonight. And then we will find out the rest of these things, provided that we don't get, half the schedules. And by the way, be cautious on Twitter is what I would advise you. Don't book a flight based on schedule leak stuff that you're seeing on social media unless you know definitively it's coming from a credible source, because I feel like a lot of people got last year, and I would hate to see you spend your money on a trip that's not actually happening.
I am strictly going on what either Jordan Schultz or Ari Myrov have reported.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and this is also part of my frustration with the schedule release dragging on, and then a 3-hour special tonight starting at 7. We have half the damn week 1 slate already. Like, we know where half of the NFL is starting their season. We know the Titans are going to Denver in week 1, 3:05 kickoff. We know Travis Hunter's debut in the NFL will be at home against the Panthers in a matchup of the last 2 Bucs offensive coordinators as head coaches. Somebody here? Did someone just walk into the building?
Your horses.
Horses text me. Should we call you?
I'm all antsy.
I'm not. Oh, you texted him?
Yeah. Should we call Slay?
See, Buckaroo knows when I'm coming through. It might be by phone, but I'll call you.
Oh, you should have heard him right in the break, Ramon. Or Slay. Oh, listen to me.
Oh, my God.
He just ran it all together right there, didn't he?
I should see
He just
myself
ran it
out.
all together. We all looking like Lucas? Is that what you're saying?
I was going to say it, but I thought it more appropriate for you to say it.
We all looking like, huh?
Hey, I will say the amount of times
don't defer.
that I've been called.
Don't defer.
The amount of times I've been called Will and vice versa.
By who?
By Ramon did it once on a broadcast.
No. Just
But this ain't Ramon.
let him sit a little longer in the racial undertones. Let him squirm a little bit.
Okay, let me take my glasses
There is
off.
nothing about those two individuals that even looks remotely alike.
Wow.
They do. They look nothing alike. I'm just going to see myself out, all right?
Bert, you letting this fly, man?
I don't claim him.
Now
you don't
claim
claim
That's an illegitimate stepchild right here.
Robert's
I don't
not
claim
claiming
either
me.
one of them. I just work here.
I'll see you fellas tomorrow.
Hey, it's another black guy on another morning show that looks like one of the other black guys on the morning show. Here it is. Thanks, man.
He's literally leaving. This is the best I've felt about the radio show.
See what I bring for you,
Quite
Buck?
time to say thank you
Peace.
so much.
Bring peace.
Namaste.
What up, dog?
What's happening?
Man, hey, man, so check this out, Buck. What
All
you
right,
got
talk
for
to
me
me.
first? Because I got something for you.
Oh, well, I'm just going to talk some hoops with you at some point, but we can start in a different spot if you want to.
I want to start Titans first.
Okay.
But
What do you
I want to, we got to hit on hoops. But first, though, is this the most boring offseason that you've covered? Whether, I mean, not from the standpoint of, okay, the number 1 draft pick, we understand the
Don't
hype.
come back in here. Nobody asked you to come back.
It's still the black guy from the morning show still
Which
here,
one
dog.
is it?
Who am I?
Which one is
Who
it?
am I today, Pan?
Say his name. Say his name.
Loud from the soul.
Savage. That's right either way.
I can't believe you.
So this is what I'm saying, Buck. We understand the number 1 pick and everything that comes with it.
Yeah, but you knew that for 3 months.
Yeah, absolutely. So maybe it wore on us. We also knew this last year with Caleb Williams
Yes.
going to Chicago, and it still felt like outside of Chicago, which I know was some hype around, but we were still like, okay, man, we can't wait to see what he does. Kind of hanging on to it. It's been like a boring offseason, man. From this is my 4th year, I think.
Sure.
Going into in the radio. So it's always, even with the losing seasons, coming off losing seasons, it's still been more exciting.
Yeah. Well, I think so. You're asking me if this is the most boring offseason that I've covered?
You've covered, yes. Yes. And why?
Well, okay, so I think I'm probably with you.
Okay.
I don't necessarily, it's not great for us, right?
Yeah.
For the purposes of entertainment
Right.
and for conversation. I kind of love it for them because just don't speak until you're worth a damn. You know, like I see Titans fans bent out of shape on the internet about, I want more Cam Ward hype videos. He hasn't done anything. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care about anything that they do until they are actually a competent football team. So for that standpoint, I kind of love that they're a little boring. But
Gotcha.
here's what I will acknowledge about how boring this offseason has been. One, their football season stopped mattering last October. So it has been the offseason for us since basically
very
Halloween, okay?
Very true.
So we have been fighting this battle
Yes.
day after day after day after day. Then we know basically the quarterback that they're going to draft since the combine. So February, months of talking about, all right, well, what else are they going to do?
Yeah.
What else are they going to do? Who else are they going to add? Could they do something other than Cam Ward? No, you idiot. They're going to draft this quarterback. Okay, so we get there. Then the free agency stuff it's not, what did you call it last year?
Sugar Rush.
Sugar Rush. Not Sugar Rush free agent approach.
Yes.
Not $228 million.
I like Sugar Rush sometimes.
No, sure, it's great.
Like
we got
it's
3
above the
hours.
wall.
Yeah,
We
but
got
then there's
3
a
hours a
crash.
day.
Then there's a 3 and 14 crash.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah, that's very true, man.
So
Very true.
it is a number of different things that have conspired to the most boring offseason that I have covered in 9 years of covering Titans offseasons because they sucked last year. We knew who they're going to draft with the number 1 overall pick. That's really the only thing that fans care about. And there's really only so many things that you can say about the situation when you know the quarterback, because that's the most important thing. Like if we just started having Chimray DK conversations,
Yeah.
you know, in the middle of March, you're going to look at
What are we
look at
doing?
us like, why not Taylor Royals? You don't know anything, you idiot. So, you know, it's just
Okay.
That's what it is at this point in time. Are you surviving your off season? Are you okay?
I am. I
Is there
think
something I can do
I'm
to
fine.
help you?
No, I think I'm cool because I can lean into the Vols baseball being sucking right now.
What is this?
Yeah, listen. I don't know what's going on. Mayor has been trying to talk me off the ledge, saying that they suck, saying they are a really good team. I say yes, they are a really good team, but I keep saying they suck right now.
Yes.
how do you get caught in between the positivity of Brent Doherty and the absolute just constantly in the dumps of Joseph Bonanno? He's the definition of BVS, worst case scenario all the time, the most negative Vols
Yes, he
fan
is.
I've ever met. And then Brent is the exact opposite.
Yeah, it's weird. But I'm telling them, like, I've been a part of teams where you are very, very talented. You have a great regular season, but on the tail end of it, you start to lose games.
Yes.
A string of games, which means you suck right then. So, and that's okay. You can still be top 15, top 20, and all that's cool. And still have an opportunity to hit the switch and make a national championship run. But they suck right now. So, wanted to say that. The other part is the NBA playoffs. I'm loving it. Having a great time with that. New faces. It looks like the torch has been passed. Some younger generation coming up, taking it and running with it. The other part to this, before we go back to basketball, and why I'm loving it, how bored we are as media. Do you think for a second that the players, or maybe the player, is kind of watching this and saying, where is this franchise going when you talk about Big Jeff?
Oh.
Because it's a D tackle just got paid. Just got paid. I'm going to bring this up with Babs on our show today. But
3HL, 3 to 6, you know this.
do you get ahead of this now and scratch this contract and pay Big Jeff to get him stuck, or wait and he start looking at other places? Because as a player, when you're in the locker room, you can block out the noise. It's a fresh season, okay? Nothing moving. But at the same time, inside, like, what's been there to help me?
He's 3 years into this deal?
Mm-hmm. Yep. This is going into the third year.
That's a fascinating question, because my position would be, what what is he more valuable to you as? Because Jeff is still under 30.
Yep.
You are in the process of building this thing back up with Cam Ward. You have no idea how fast or how slow that's going to go.
Absolutely.
I honestly, Slay, I would keep my cards if I was them, Brinker and Borgonzi, and seeing what D tackles are making right now, and understanding that Jeff is not the best of them. But and he's got a really cost-effective deal right now. I'd at least put it off. And any kind of thought about that until the trade deadline. Let me see where I'm at, and let me see how many more picks I can pick up for him potentially if we're not, say, on the Washington Commanders timeline or something like that.
Yep. He was already part of the discourse with Titans fans this offseason.
Yeah, but Buck just said also he's not that guy either. So maybe Jeff is looking at that saying, I'm not that guy because the guys around me, too.
He could, but
you know what I'm saying? So what if I can vote and go and be that guy?
And we're having a hypothetical conversation. We have no idea what's in his head.
None at all.
But if his in a world, because I'm sure I'll get some heat about this, because anything revolving criticism of Jeff Simmons.
But I've been saying this for like 2 or 3 weeks.
Time. No, relax.
Yeah, I've been saying this for 3 weeks that he should ask for a trade.
Yeah, and there's some thought to that too, and he's been pretty steadfast in not. But I think for him, if he is having any kind of thought of, well, maybe it's the things around me and I'm not that guy, then I don't love that anyway. I mean, even if that's true, because I think there's plenty of reasons that it could be true. Yeah. But my argument would be, well, go be Chris Jones, and then we can talk about how much more you're going to get paid.
True.
Anyway.
But Chris Jones has some nice pieces on the back end.
Sure. No, they've had a stud defense for a long time. They drafted really well. You allowed him
to be Chris Jones.
Yes, Chris Jones is excellent, and they are also excellent around him, which is not something the Titans have ever been. I don't think there's ever been an excellent defense around Jeff Simmons at any given point. They've had moments.
Keep an eye on that conversation.
There have been stretches.
19 was the best version of that, but this is rookie year.
But the Chiefs do keep drafting around Omar Norman Lott playing next to Chris Jones now. Do you
got a sticky note conversation?
Okay. Well, no, because the sticky note conversation will then be removed and talked about today, right? You're going to talk about today?
No, just a little bit.
Okay.
Because we don't know where it's headed. Nobody knows what Big Jeff's thinking.
Sure.
We haven't seen enough. We don't know what pieces. We still ain't. They still could add more pieces around them. We don't know what it could happen. But
Jeffrey,
I'm just
if you're
saying
within the sound of my voice, Jeff, open invitation on the show anytime.
I'm just saying, me, dog, at some point I would be thinking all right, man, this rebuild, I done played injured. You know what I mean? I'm getting knocked. It's 2 years back-to-back.
Fans are turning on him.
Yeah, okay, all right, we're cool.
You remember how much crap I got? We were supposed to talk about basketball here, and we will. But when I started talking about Simmons within the context of Luan and the timeline and the availability stuff, and at what point, fans turned on Taylor after loving Taylor. Fans are now in a spot with Jeff because of availability, because the team has not performed up to expectation. You can see the writing on the wall for these second contract guys every time. And people freaked out on me last year because I was like, well, how long until they turn on him? Because he's not been available. Taylor was way more unavailable, but even still, Jeff, and to his credit, he played through the injuries last year. So, to your point, sticky note.
Yeah. So.
You a fan of the NBA draft lottery?
I'm fine with it. It is what it is. It's been around for years, and it's always helped the team. What's your question about this? What you want to get to it? Because I got.
Would you be in the camp of adopting it in the NFL?
No, I'm cool with it. Just because that you start to tank, you know what I'm saying, in ways that don't matter what. I thought Richard Hendricks hit me when we had this conversation, and what was adopted, what's been happening overseas. And this European football, soccer, however you want to say it. The bottom 2 teams get relegated to the second division. And the 2 teams that win in the second division get an opportunity to move up. Now, usually one team can pay its way to stay up or something like that, but there's some logistics that I don't know that happens in the back room. But if you were to do that, I thought that would be great. Let people play out for the lottery. That would be dope. The last 4 teams, last 6 teams, because I've been a part of bad teams overseas, and when we get to the last 3 or 4 games of the season, just like the top teams are vying for playoff position,
you're playing.
Now we're looking at it like, hey, man, dude, we can't go down. And then we got stuff in our contract.
Please, Joe Milton beat the Buffalo Bills. Please, dear God.
Like, man, I'm telling you.
Contract
like,
stuff
it's crazy. Like, if you go down, you lose like 10% of your contract.
If you get relegated, yes.
Yeah,
like the financial implications for a team getting relegated or for a team avoiding getting relegated, far, far bigger than the financial implications of winning a title.
It'll cut all that out.
Yeah, like they talk about the playoff final for the championship, the level below the Premier League. It's the most expensive game in sports because of the financial windfall that every player and the entire club gets by being promoted to the Premier League and the TV money that is in the Premier League.
All right, so I need you to take up the flag of relegation in American sports.
It will never happen.
I know.
It will never happen.
I want it.
I'm with it.
That's a dead and gone pursuit.
We got to talk about games at some point here.
For sure. You got another segment in you?
Yeah. But it's so cold, though. I was on a playoff team. We got bounced in the first round when I was playing in Italy. A team in Spain, Huelva, called me because they were in a play-in game to stay up. Called me after my season end. I flew from Italy to Spain to go play in that game to help them stay up. Like, no, it's serious. So and it was packed. These were the two last place teams in Spain playing to stay up. And it was packed in the gym. Like, it's different.
We can't get promotion relegation in American soccer. We're definitely never going to get it in other sports. But I love what you're saying. The idea of playing for the number one overall pick.
Let's get to it.
A playoff to figure out the top five?
Yeah.
All in on
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Let's see, Ron Slay here, the commissioner of all sports now. Josh Pate has college football. Slay will oversee everything else. My Indiana Pacers are back in the Eastern Conference Finals. But I want to ask you, because there's a great deal of matchup stuff to talk about here. Okay. The Pacers are an interesting story for sure. The fact that series was as lopsided as it was is the thing that was shocking to me.
Yeah.
The Cavs, I don't want to accuse them like I normally would of a team in this situation of choking like dogs because they're so hurt.
Banged up.
And if I had to pick any series where the injuries had the greatest amount of impact, not to take away anything from the Pacers, because I think what they have done is impressive and I think they're a fun and exciting team. But is that at the end of the day why we saw one of the best teams in the regular season just completely crash out in the second round?
Yeah, it was the injuries. It was the matchups. It was the guys that have been there before when you look at who Indiana is. And I want to ask you, Buck, also, did you have something to do with this? Because the way that Tyrese Halliburton's dad acted the series before was seeming Buck Rising-ish. Like you paid him to go out there and hold up the sign in front of Giannis telling him, this is what real players do. They finish. And he got thrown out, so he can never come to any more games right now. But I think that gaslit Tyrese Halliburton. Like, he's been on a tear since that moment.
He's been excellent.
Like, I mean, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And like you said, not to take anything away from Cleveland, Darius Garland being hurt that first game, the defensive player of the year and Evan Mobley being out, DeAndre Hunter, who was brought in to be a guy to tilt the scale and could do it, was also out. Isaac Okoro missed some time. Like, the reason Cleveland was so good was because of their depth. And then Spider Mitchell playing how he was, Darius Garland playing the way he was, Jared Allen being able to be who he is. But you can say the same thing about Indiana. Indiana went through it in the regular season, got healthy going into this. Now you're starting to see their depth. T.J. McConnell, Aaron Nesmith, who's making some bread right now in these playoffs. Even getting a guy like Ben Shepherd in the game to get some minutes and throw different bodies at these guys. So the pace that you're playing, Pacers playing at a pace that is not like any other team. When you get to the third quarter, fourth quarter, and the game slows down, they still playing like it's the first and second quarter as far as, and still being able to take care of the ball. And you got to tip the cap to Rick Carlisle.
Yeah, truly.
And Cleveland got all those guys back in games 4 and 5.
Yeah, they did. But in a series,
they did.
In a series, the momentum. Once the momentum's going, you need something almost like earth-shattering to shake that momentum and take the confidence away. Like, they went on the road and stole one. What we gonna do? Just take care of home? We got that. We come back, y'all still banged up. Donovan Mitchell went out going into Game 5. In Game 4, only played 12, 15 minutes. Like, that wasn't the way to go. So they saw blood. They attacked. They didn't let up. And then Halliburton 5 threes in the first half. Like, what? game's a wrap.
He ended up with 31 last night. And
game's a wrap.
He's been just great the whole way through. Blue collar, gold swagger, baby. Pacers. The mighty Sirs. They're back.
Yeah.
Denver and OKC.
Yeah. Beautiful.
I mean, great basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And, maybe SGA is going to be able to foul line his way through these playoffs, okay? It's
part of the game.
Jokic, sure, and I wouldn't take it away from him. Just like James Harden exists, SGA.
Absolutely.
I understand it stylistically, even though I don't like watching it aesthetically.
Jokic was nuts last night.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is he the best the most skilled offensive basketball player you've ever seen? And I would argue across generations, because Slay, I know the Michael Jordan people are going to freak the hell out, but he is just unbelievable. And maybe it is exacerbated for me because he looks the way that he does. But the guy is insane. Insane. Some of the passes, the behind the back stuff.
Yeah.
Who is this man?
44-point double-double last night, for those who did not watch.
He's playing at a different level right now, and it's been consistent. And I think it's what you alluded to, Buck. You look at the man body built like me if I was 6'10", 7 foot.
He's a loaf of bread.
Now. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? I mean, it's good. If you run up on him, it's no doubt if you would punch him in the stomach with 2 fingers, boom, he would like he's the Pillsbury Doughboy out there.
Which is crazy because you remember he lost all that weight before the bubble?
He did his best.
I was like, who is that?
He did his best.
Looked like Porzingis out there.
But it's also his game wasn't there either. So now getting the weight back and just being who he is, playing at that style, playing at that pace, he's been able to set the standard to a different level. I will say most skilled, yes, because of what he's able to do at that spot. But people that understand the game, man, they remember a guy like Arvydas Sabonis who could play the same exact way. Vlade Divac, I know people like, what? Who? Sacramento general manager that tanks the team. But Vlade had the same type of game. You know what I mean? But Jokic, man, we haven't seen this where the game has moved to a spot where it's all spaced out and they're actually playing through him at the perimeter. Like, it was a lot of time with the guys I named, they would come down, give it to him at the elbow, and they would operate the offense. They're getting the rebound and giving it to him to bring it up.
Yeah.
Like, who initiates the offense that way? But I think this series, dog, it's a lot. And we talk about the depth with Cleveland, Indiana. Denver doesn't have it.
Yeah.
So you got to see this type of output. If he could do it, I think 30 and 15 that would be where he would want to be, with somebody coming off the bench to help and relieve him, at least let him get 6 minutes of rest, 7 minutes of rest throughout the game. You can't do it. They're playing like 7 or 8 players, man. And that's all okay. They're better. They're a better team as far as running their stuff through the first 3 quarters. But OKC just wears them down. Hartenstein. You got Jalen Williams coming in. And all of them, if you watch them, they all keep a body on them.
Yeah.
And he keeps a body on them because that's his game. I don't care. The smallest guards, Zakai Ziegler, phenomenal at pressing the ball 94 feet. It's nothing like wearing you down when you got to go bang with a guy. I'm telling you, I've had guards tell me all the time, it's a different world when you have to get down there and bang. Getting down there with those bigs and bumping and grinding and putting the bodies on bodies, it wears on you. Jokic is getting worn down. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, and it's playing in OKC's favor.
Speaking of short rotations and grinding guys down, I want to talk to you about the Knicks and the Celtics coming up next if you're sticking around.
You know what? I'll stay.
He's wrong.
Should Ramon Foster stay or Slay stay? Which one, Bert? Which one should I be?
Find out next.
Which one, Bert?
That was good. Find out next.
Welcome back to the show. Fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. 615-737-1045, the number. If you want to get involved, Ron Slay hanging out. We got him here. Of course, you can catch him 3 to 6 on 3HL later this afternoon. We're talking a little playoff hoops because the Pacers are on to the Eastern Conference Finals. It looks like they will be facing the New York Knicks.
Yeah.
3-1 is that series in favor of the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
The Celtics now have lost Jason Tatum to a ruptured Achilles, which is just awful. He's lights out, 42 points in that last game, and in the fourth quarter, he sustains that injury. He gets wheeled out. It's an awful scene. Of course, you know, for him and his family, a terrible situation.
Yeah.
And there's a part of me, Slay, that feels like the Celtics still have enough to keep this close because the Knicks, to me, are a smarter team and a higher effort team in this series, which has been surprising on a variety of different fronts. But Boston, to me, still has the higher talent ceiling, even without their best player. But I wonder what you make of this series, first and foremost, and what we might expect to see tonight. Where are they? Are they back in New York tonight?
No, they're not in
Boston tonight.
Okay,
Yeah,
so this is an opportunity for the Celtics to redeem themselves, but obviously they've got one hand tied behind their back.
Yeah, when you look at it, you look at Boston, the way they won the championship last year, they came back and repeated the same formula. This is the reason you play series, because in a March Madness style game, all it takes is one game for you to be cold. So you don't necessarily get to see the talent bubble to the top and see the creme de la creme, or see the guys step up and be their best. In a 7-game series, at some point, you get to see guys being their best. They wasn't the first 2 games. The Knicks took advantage of it. You had guys that were paid coming into New York's system with Tom Thibodeau and understanding what their role is. OG Anunoby got healthy. He was a guy.
Who's your legend?
Who's your legend? That's right. Tom Crean has been tweeting crazy about him. Him and Thomas Bryant also. Another one is, golly, I just went blank on my man's name. They came over from Phoenix. Long arm of the law that won the first 2 games, number 25.
Oh, you're not talking about Robinson, are you?
Nope, for the Knicks. Sheesh.
I'm going to look up the roster.
Golly, come on, Slay.
Mikal Bridges.
Mikal Bridges. I was going to say Miles Bridges and not Miles, but Mikal Bridges. So when he came over, he was paid for being that athletic wing that can play offensively and defensively and be a knockdown shooter, mid-range and three-pointers when a guy like Brunson gets a little gassed. Big Cat was added. He's been doing his thing as far as being a guy when they give you the ball, not settling like he was in Minnesota. So everybody on that team has taken a step. Boston just played their way. They shoot a lot of threes. Mazzulla said at the beginning of the season, we want to shoot 40 to 50 threes a game. Here's what it is. If it adds up and the analytics play out, we'll win the game. They didn't in the first 2 games. They did later. You saw the result. They blasted them. Came back. You go a little cold, but New York has momentum now. Jalen Brunson, all they need to do is keep it close. If they keep it close, they have a guy that's able to close at any spot. That's Jalen Brunson.
How much of a focal point does that put on Joe Mazzulla, though? Because, listen,
Yep.
I understand that the three-pointer changes the math.
Yep.
But, and listen, for home court advantage, not being outright negated,
Yeah.
but kind of.
75 missed threes in games 1 and 2 combined. It's an NBA record.
So I can't, if I'm a fan, certainly a Boston fan, I am not accepting, well, this is just how we play. We're either going to make them or we're not. No, that's on you to make adjustments, and you have the personnel to make those adjustments. I understand that Tatum's loss makes that infinitely harder.
Right.
But what are we paying you for?
That is very true. But they also going to look at it and say, man, we won it like this last year as well with the same bunch. So bringing this bunch back, these are veteran guys in Holiday, in Derek White, in Jaylen Brown, who was the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, the Finals MVP. Like, you have a guy right there. If Tatum is to go down like he did, that you should be able, like you said at the beginning, should be able to carry this team. So what are you going to do now? It comes down to coaching. You cannot rely on talent, roll the ball out there and say, this is the way we play. Your star is down. What are you going to do now? You know they're going to key on Jaylen Brown. You're going to keep rolling Al Horford old self out there and letting them play 25 minutes, or you going to cut his minutes and say, Porzingis, you got to gut it out. Now, we just heard he's fighting some sickness or some kind of health matter. So understand that. But whatever you can give us, you got to give us. But we can also go small. So go small. You got to. Now the coaching aspect comes into it, with no question.
How wide open is this thing? You got one seed down for the count. Cleveland's out of this. The T-Wolves got the Warriors on the ropes. No Steph Curry tonight and a 3-1 lead. Just how wide open are these NBA playoffs now as we get closer to conference finals?
Man, it's as open as it is to have who's the face of the league. That's how open the playoffs is.
And that's a wide open conversation.
It's wide open. 2 years ago, we thought it was going to be Ja.
And those two things feel pretty correlated.
Right. And no question. 2 years ago, we thought if you had this same conversation 2 years ago, we would say it was Luka, Joker, and Ja Morant. They were in the running. Now you flip the script. Tatum has won the championship. You got Jalen Brunson, who's emerged. SGA should be the MVP this year. Ant-Man is taking the bull by the horns and dragging them down the street for it, regardless if you want to be there or not. You cannot deny them. So it's that open, man. And I honestly, when the season started and we thought OKC was going to be this good, you can see OKC right there in the finals. If it was somebody to have a say about it and take the next step, you could see Minnesota being that team and Ant-Man knocking off the veterans. LeBron, take the crown. Steph, regardless injury or not, taking them out. All the old guys are falling by the wayside. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And this new crop is coming, man. That's why it's so exciting to me. But you got Brunson and you got Halliburton in the East. Like, who's going to take it, man? So you will, I believe this year, we got to let it play out, but I believe you're going to have a new champion. Like Boston should be over and done with. It's going to be good to have New York back in there because they don't have nothing on the East Coast when it comes to football. They only have basketball. So in order for basketball to flourish, you need Madison Square Garden to be buzzing the way it is right now. Even if they just make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, they ain't got to win no championship.
Oh, and
going to the Eastern Conference Finals is good enough.
Game 3 was so sad, Slay. So sad. They're down 30 points. Let's go, Knicks.
Yeah, like, what we doing?
Let's go, Knicks. It was pathetic.
Yeah, game 4.
Oh, game 4. Electric.
It was
electric.
Bing bong, baby.
It's going to be fun, man.
Stop saying bing bong. I don't know what that means.
Love bing bong. I know exactly what it means. You don't know what it means.
No idea. I'm on TikTok. You're not.
What does it mean?
It's that whole NYC sidewalk
Yes, it is,
talk.
but where does it come from?
Oh, I have no idea.
It's the sound that the subway doors make, but right before they close, bing bong.
Is it really? That's what they took it from?
You don't even know what it means.
Wow.
Bing bong, baby.
Which black man is that?
Yeah.
I hate you.
We can live on that one right there. Can lean in on that one.
That made me so happy.
Football or the basketball?
Ron Slay
all right, baby.
is who that is. He's hanging out 3 to 6. 3HL. They'll have a great time as they always do. It's always great to see you, buddy.
No
Thanks
doubt,
for stopping by.
Anytime.
All right, coming up next, we will get into the dumbest thing in sports this week. Do I have things to give away?
You do. You can get 2 tickets to AC/DC and 4 tickets to Game Terminals Beer Fest.
615-737-1045. You call in, you tell us what the dumbest thing in sports this week is, and you'll win that wonderful prize.
It is 11:01. Good morning from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Lucas Panzica. The 2025 NFL regular season schedule officially comes out tonight at 7 p.m., a special on NFL Network. Ari Myrov reported yesterday that the Titans will open the season with a trip to Denver to face the Broncos in Week 1 for a 3:05 p.m. Central kickoff on Fox. The Titans made a pair of signings on Tuesday in former Lions and Cowboys cornerback Amani Oruwariye and defensive lineman Carlos Watkins, and the NBA playoffs pick back up tonight. The Knicks will try to punch their ticket to the Eastern Conference Finals as they visit the Celtics Game 5 at TD Garden. Boston without star Jason Tatum, who suffered a ruptured Achilles in Game 4. Tip-off is at 6 p.m. In the West, Minnesota hosts Golden State with a 3-1 series lead. Tip-off at 8:30. Stanley Cup playoffs tonight. The Panthers are at the Maple Leafs. Game 5 at 6 p.m. Series tied up at 2. And the Oilers can close it out against Vegas on the road with the 3-1 lead. That puck drop at 8:30. Nashville Soccer Club is back at Geodis Park tonight, looking for a fourth straight home win in MLS play as they host the New York Red Bulls. Pregame coverage right here on The Zone starts at 7, kickoff at 7:30. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
That's right, 615-737-1045. Call in and tell us what your dumbest thing in sports this week is. Robert, what do they win if they give us the single dumbest thing in sports this week?
You can win 2 tickets to see AC/DC at Nissan Stadium on May 20th, plus 4 tickets to Game Terminal's 4th annual Beer Fest to benefit Nashville Humane Association this Saturday.
Look at that. 615-737-1045 is the number. The dumbest thing in sports this week is Bill Belichick. He made his most recent television appearance since the infamous CBS interview in which his 24-year-old girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, was on site to intervene during the CBS interview. She was not on hand for ACC Media Days.
No, wrong. When has there ever been a Media Days on May 14th?
Oh, spring meeting, whatever it's called.
Spring meeting.
Same thing.
No, definitely not. Very, very, very different.
Not even remotely the same thing. Every SEC football fan just like clutched their chest at how wrong I got that, but I misspoke. Spring meetings. So Bill Belichick is on the dais for ESPN, who's covering spring meetings as a part of their ACC contractual obligations. And he sits down for this brief Q&A, and as one would expect, the conversation shifted at some point from football to his relationship status. And he is asked about everything that's going on in the news. Jordan Hudson, obviously not a part of this at this point in time. Finally, they've learned from something. And Bill Belichick is asked, and he says, yeah, I mean, that's, really off to the side. It's a personal relationship, and she doesn't have anything to do with UNC football, before essentially pulling another on to Cincinnati moment. I'm excited to be back in the coaches' meetings and getting ready for June and then August, and then we have training camp, so June will be big recruiting month for us, and then August we'll start getting ready for the season. No, it is a part of the football situation. I know Bill is going to do Bill things, especially when left to his own devices, and as it relates to the media, he was very pleasant in this interview. He wasn't off-putting or dismissive or, the Patriots Belichick that we've come to know and maybe love is a strong word, but you understand my meaning. Him trying to say that it has nothing to do with UNC football, though, completely ignores the fact that she has been running his entire life as the head coach of UNC football. As arguably, is he more famous than Deion Sanders as a college football coach right now, Bill Belichick? It's probably 1A and 1B.
And he's being talked about a lot more.
Right, and it's, it's the newness of it, but he is a fascination for a great many reasons, and she running his life as the head coach of a college football program when he's never been in college football this way, certainly as a head coach. Bill, you can ignore it as much as you want, but this stuff is just going to keep popping up, especially if they keep making missteps. Bill Belichick is the dumbest thing in sports this week.
I'm a huge fan of Mike Greenberg of ESPN. I think he does an incredible job at every turn, hosting Get Up, hosting draft coverage. There's a lot on his plate, and I think he crushes all of it. But Mike Greenberg is my dumbest thing in sports this week, as are you, for this, suggesting that the NBA draft lottery should be implemented in the NFL.
The Utah Jazz got the 5th pick last night. That means that the team with the worst record has now not selected first overall in 7 straight seasons, coinciding with the start of the new lottery format. So when Adam Silver changed around, tweaked a few things there, he did it, and he came on the show and talked about it because he recognizes, as should every sports fan, tanking is a scourge. Tanking is a disgrace. Tanking runs contrary to literally everything sports is designed to be. Incentivizing losing is the worst mistake any sport can possibly make, any sports league can make. And as a result, I think it is great news. People saying, oh, this isn't working because the worst teams aren't getting the pick. Shut up. That's exactly the wrong way to look at it. This way, win games. Go out there and win games and see what happens. And you know what should happen? The NFL should add this?
Yes.
Every sport should add this.
Yes.
The lottery is a brilliant idea, and I would completely favor, I know Shefty was on talking about it on the radio this morning. I would absolutely be in favor of the NFL going to some sort of draft lottery so you stop with the tanking, which is the worst thing in sports.
You add.
Mike Greenberg has never been more right in his life. Who are all these minions behind him agreeing
I don't
with
know.
him?
He's right that tanking is a scourge, a disgrace, all of the things that he said. But to act like a lottery being implemented would prevent teams that do tank from tanking or NFL fan bases from wanting their teams to tank for a top 5 pick, acting like it would prevent that is so disingenuous.
Yeah, but it would discourage it far more than the current format.
Sure,
right?
but
Well, isn't that what you're just trying to get closer to keeping teams from even thinking that thought?
And I don't think that many teams actually tank.
No, I don't either.
When teams get the number 1 pick, more often than not, 9 times out of 10, it's because they were legitimately the worst team in football or whatever sport. Like the Titans, I don't think for a second that the Titans wanted to lose at any point last year.
The only time that I could have even remotely accused them of it is Week 18 with
Putting
Will Levis and
back in.
Mason Rudolph, and then Will Levis again, and then I'll go, well, what are we doing here?
But again, when you're talking about starting Levis versus Rudolph,
I know.
neither one's putting you in a good spot to win.
I
or
completely
lose.
understand.
So I just acting like it would in football discourage fan bases from wanting their team to tank for a big or for a top pick, or teams that do have that mentality. Maybe it would a little bit, but not as much as I think is being suggested. I think that's the dumbest thing in sports this week. The idea that a lottery, and on top of all of that, even if the NBA draft lottery has never been rigged, which is kind of laughable to me.
Questionable.
It is set up in such a way that it's just so easy for people to make that accusation.
Yeah, but how much more fun conversationally would that be? The NFL loves that kind of stuff.
Sure, but Cleveland, right? LeBron is coming out of high school. He's this generational player. Oh, and Cleveland gets the number 1 pick.
Oh,
His hometown team. Derrick Rose coming out of Memphis. Oh, it just happens to be Chicago who gets the number 1 pick.
Look at this year.
What? Oh, with the
Mavs.
the Mavs, right? The Dallas
Mavs made
Mavericks.
the damn playoffs.
Exactly. So it sets up so easily for that to be a slam dunk accusation, because there are times where it just is too good to be true. Cleveland getting the number 1 pick when LeBron was coming out was simply too good to be true. And most of the time when something is too good to be true, it is because it is true. So, yeah, man, I don't know. I think that's the dumbest thing in sports this week.
Wrong. Robert?
You know, when everybody is making immature jokes and I don't think it's funny, they can't be that funny. Earlier this year, we saw a minor league baseball team open with, well, we're the Chesapeake Bay Sox oyster catchers. Yeah. And the logo resembled a female anatomy, and everybody went crazy for it.
Down low, not up top.
Oh, yeah, not the boobs. So I got to get a hat. I got to get a jersey. I got to get some of this. Oh, it's so funny. This is not funny anymore. This is it is not funny. It is stupid. Grown men saying, "Oh, I need to get a jersey of this." You need to feed your kids.
What's the next?
The one that you have to worry about now.
What's the next example of this?
The Rocket City Trash Pandas tweeted this out earlier this week. 2 tasty alternate identities. One big barbecue weekend. Bama Butts on January 13th. Alabama white sauce on January 14th. And it is a pig with his ass out. And it's like, okay, they're saying Bama Butts. This will sell a lot of sorority T-shirts.
Double cheeked up.
But Alabama white sauce, I understand what it is. But I also understand what they're alluding to. This is gross. This is not funny. Even the design. I'm gonna re-put the design in the chat. It is disgusting. You would think children should wear these shirts? Children should go to these games. Oh, it's just the white sauce. Shut up.
I swear it's sunscreen.
You know it's hair gel. We made that joke yesterday. You know exactly what it is.
Ugh.
This is stupid. It's just a clamoring for dollars, clamoring for, hey, buy our unis. Shut up. I'll never buy one of them, and I'll never go to a game. That's my dumbest thing in sports.
Now,
Shame on you, Huntsville, Alabama.
I will say that what was the first one?
Bama Butts.
No. The one that started this.
The Chesapeake Oyster Catchers.
Okay, and it's got a pearl again. All of this resembling like,
but it's a baseball
anatomy.
Yes.
But it's
just dumb. It's not funny.
The first one made me laugh because it was coming on the heel. The only reason that it did is because it was coming on the heels of that awful MLB hat situation where I'm like, are they doing this on purpose? Did they do this on accident? I have no idea what's happening here, but it's hilarious.
Exactly. It was potentially accidental.
Yes.
They did not mean to come out and have a piece of the anatomy on their branding. But now everyone else is like, oh, somebody else had any minor piece of success in minor league baseball. Let's copy everything they do and do it 5 times dumber. Just so stupid.
615-737-1045. We'll take your calls for the dumbest thing in sports this week. Coming up next, and we'll also get into everything that we know as of, 11:20 about the NFL schedule, because there's leaks everywhere. I'm Buck Rising. It's 1045 The Zone. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. Let's take some phone calls for the dumbest thing in sports this week. We'll send you to AC/DC. 2 tickets to AC/DC and 4 tickets to hang out with Robert and Lucas. Who else is going to this thing?
Buck.
No, I'm not going.
No, we don't want Buck there. We want his money, but we don't want him there. We're going to have a whole crew there. I'm excited.
All right, very good. At Game Terminal for their beer fest. It's going to be a great time on Saturday. I actually, because the two of you, I do appreciate that you support the things that I do. I would go, but I'm doing Fox from 7 to 10, so I will not be there.
Oh, well, it's a good thing this thing is from 2 to 6, so we will see you at Game Terminal.
I almost cussed. Are you serious?
Yeah, like I'm going from 2 until 4:30.
Lucas has to call a soccer game after that. Sorry, kids, I won't be able to make your baseball game.
I thought for sure that was my out.
I have to be at Geodis Park before 5 o'clock, and I'm going to be at Game Terminal on Saturday.
Daddy has an important meeting.
No.
Hit a home run for me, though.
My cousin from
What
Italy
have I done?
came all the way over to America.
That's not true.
He's coming to Nashville, and he's coming with us to Game Terminal, and you can't even get
I
out
thought you
there.
were about to paint it as your cousin from Italy came all
Not
the way over here.
specifically for Beer Fest, but he's very excited.
I don't know. You would lie to the audience that way or try to guilt me into something like that. Damn it. I've played myself.
See you there.
615-737-1045 is the number. What's the dumbest thing in sports this week? Let's start with Eric.
Hey, good morning, guys. So my dumbest thing in sports is going to be Texas baseball. Over the weekend, number 1 Texas was playing unranked Florida, and Florida was killing them. It was 8-1 in the bottom of the 7th. And Jonah Williams, freshman for Texas, comes up to the plate, and he draws a walk, which, cool, good for you. He thinks he just hits a walk-off grand slam and flips his bat, starts tripping at the catcher and pitcher, and starts like skipping and jumping to first base, pretty much trying to start a fight. Brother, you are down 7 runs as the number 1 team to an unranked team, and you're acting like this. That's the dumbest thing in sports.
Thanks for the call, Eric. I'm watching the video now. Remember to stay on hold for the opportunity to win the prize. So it's the bottom of the 7th, 1 on, and this dude is so over the top in the way that he is smack-talking the pitcher while trailing by 7 runs. It's crazy. That is, in fact, the dumbest thing in sports this week. Excellent submission. Let's go with Chris in Spring Hill.
My dumbest thing in sports is all these Mel Kiper, Shedeur, Sanders, truthers. I don't think he deserves all the hate he gets, but he's also a 5th-round pick. The league showed you what they think he is, and they're all watching him throw a 5-yard pass, which I'm pretty sure Burt could make to the running back in the flats, and hyping him up.
Yeah, I saw that.
Acting like he's the next big thing. And, dude, if you're showing out, if a rookie mini camp breakout is not a thing. That's my dumbest thing in sports.
That had to be tongue-in-cheek. One of these aggregator accounts. Shedeur Sanders with a dime to, who was it, Quinshot Judkins?
No, they do that on purpose.
Well, yes, I understand.
You know that Doug Clement's not a real person, right?
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's tongue-in-cheek. It's on purpose to...
Oh, yes. They are trying to bother people.
Yeah, get a rise out of people.
Like
he literally, for anyone who didn't see the video, like, he's... no pads on, just dumping it off to a running back in the backfield with no defenders around.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't even think it was 5 yards. Let's go to Carl up next. Hey, Carl.
Buck, how's everything today?
Good.
Yeah, I'm going to pile on a little bit. My dumbest thing in sports is local radio professional that I was listening to earlier couldn't tell the difference between a professional basketball player and a professional football player that he works with.
Shame on that person, Carl. He's left the studio.
Oh, no.
So we had to kick him out.
You kicked him out?
Did you just drop him?
No.
He was going to
He
win.
hung up.
Oh, that's too bad. I would have given him
Yeah, I don't know who did that. That was classless. And
I just can't
we
believe
don't stand for that kind of thing around here.
stooped to the level of behavior that you believe all African-American people look the same, that you would mistake Ron Slay and Ramon Foster for one another.
Yeah, whoever did that.
They're not even the same height. He is 3 inches taller than
No, they
Ramon.
look nothing alike. They look nothing alike. So we had to remove Joseph from the studio. And job is being posted for 3HL's new producer.
Ooh, Ooh, I need to apply to that.
Shut up. Justin and Lev. You want me to send you away again? I'll send you away again. Don't tempt me. Justin is next.
You wish
Let me go
you
hang
had
out
that.
with Ramon on 3HL.
Justin is next.
Draymond Green altogether with his angry black man speech and then getting caught holding up how many points the point spread was at the end of the game.
So just generally the Draymond thing?
Just Draymond Green altogether. Then
Okay.
getting fouled out in the game. He just
Yeah. So
not having a good week.
I appreciate the call, Justin. So do you know anything about the Draymond situation?
I know that. I mean, I've watched some Warriors games where he's been fouling out, and
He got a tech after he got fouled. I think it was game 3, maybe, and then he gets to the podium afterwards. He hit the guy. I can't remember who fouled him, but he hit the guy who fouled him in the face. Okay, so he gets a tech. And so he gets to the podium afterwards with media, and he starts talking about how media has an agenda painting him as an angry black man. And we are a very Caucasian show, so maybe not the smartest waters for the three of us to wade into. But I will say that I take significant issue with Draymond trying to make it media painting Draymond Green as an angry black man when Draymond they're just covering him as Draymond Green. Draymond Green's behavior has given Draymond Green a reputation. It has nothing to do with the color of his skin. And so him trying to turn that back around on people that cover him, I thought I don't know. I thought he was trying to redirect the attention on something else. It turned the conversation into something totally different, and I didn't think it was the best look for him. So, anyway.
how old is Draymond at this point?
If Steph's 37, Draymond got to be right there, 36, 35.
Like that Tennessee team under Bruce Pearl that made the Elite Eight, that was against Draymond Green's Michigan State. He is 35. 35. I would have guessed a little bit older. I also was surprised Al Horford is still under 40.
Yeah, Al Horford's still out there running around.
Yeah,
It's
man.
crazy.
38 years old.
Trying to play defense on Jalen Brunson like that. You need WD4 to get out there. And they really don't have that big of a rotation, the Celtics. Anyway, one more. Bill in Lebanon.
Hey, Buck.
Hey.
Hey, buddy. I'm a huge Tennessee fan, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But I am so dumb. It is so dumb, and I'm so tired of the Andrew Fisher, who is a phenomenal player. You flip your bat, cussing the pitcher out, running down first baseline after you just hit a home run in the first inning, and it's 1-1. And I'm tired of it. It's the dumbest thing, and I hope that, and he's a great player, but I'm just tired of it, and I think it's dumb. Stop acting like an idiot.
Thanks for the call, Bill.
Yeah, I feel like Fisher was, I don't know, because he's right. First inning, like he hits that single shot to tie the game at 1 in the first inning of this rubber match, and it's the most boisterous we saw any single Tennessee player all weekend. So I didn't know if he was just trying to fire up the fans in his dugout, this is our house kind of thing. It definitely didn't come off very well, and I mean, look, that's the reality of the situation. When you carry yourself the way Tennessee has, and they have cooled down since that, I think it was 2022 team that ran into Notre Dame, losing in the Super Regionals. That team
with
was
the
like
daddy hats and the fur coat and the whole
they
thing.
kept the daddy hats and everything, but that team was like all the way up to 10 all the time, and it's been dialed back a little bit, but there's no doubt that's still part of their identity. But that stuff gets stale with your own fan base when the losses start to pile up, and Tennessee's lost 4 straight SEC series at this point. 1 more series to go before the SEC tournament, but they're not playing well. But yeah, Brandon in the FNM Bank chat says in his defense, he was trying to light a fire under a lifeless team. But I do understand where Bill's coming from.
Yeah, no, both things can be so, but they can be received by different people in different ways. So we have, based on who's still on the line, we have Eric with the Texas baseball player talking trash down 7 runs. We've got Chris with basically Shedeur Sanders truthers. And we've got Justin with Draymond Green. My vote is for Eric.
Yeah, I was gonna agree with that.
That's exceedingly dumb.
The Shedeur Sanders truthers.
Robert, you have a vote to the you want to pick Blue for something that he doesn't deserve to win tickets for again?
Chris was the Shedeur Sanders truther. Wasn't Eric the baseball guy?
Oh.
Yes, Chris
Okay.
is the
So now it's
Shador
a
Sanders.
split vote.
I voted.
will vote for.
I voted Chris. Sorry.
So I have the deciding vote.
No,
then.
because I have 2 votes.
I will vote for Justin, and everyone wins. I don't care.
Congratulations to Eric. You're going to the concert and game terminal if you so choose.
He ain't got no choice. He's contractually obligated. You have to come to game terminal to pick up your AC/DC tickets.
On Saturday. 615-737-1045. If they did not win these tickets, Lucas, where can they go to get their tickets?
1045thezone.com. We'll be out there. Proceeds benefit the Nashville Humane Association. You get beer tastings, a gift bag, and swag with your purchase. $40 online, $50 at the door. Saturday from 2 to 6 p.m. So Buck can be there. He just won't because he doesn't want to see any of you fine folks out there, which is okay. That's how we want it. We don't want him out there. Game Terminal is an awesome arcade bar, by the way.
I'm so mad at myself for tripping and falling into that.
Also, it's not just beer. It's cider. It's liquor.
If they have
be a great
tequila,
time.
then I'm open.
No,
open
they
for
got
business.
everything. They got everything. They'll have a DJ, 8,000 square foot back patio. I'm looking forward to it.
Beautiful.
If you're in your car crying, I never win anything. I didn't win anything. Well, it's Winning Wednesday, and you have opportunity to win tickets to Sounds games all day with every show. All you got to do is listen for your cue to call. Be call number 5 to win 2 tickets to see the Sounds host the Scranton Rail Riders.
Ooh.
Come on.
Hey, that's
What are we doing?
The Rail Riders?
The Pole Swirlers.
That's
What are we
the,
doing? What are we doing?
I was about to say, is that the PC term for a hobo?
I thought it was exotic dancer.
No, what you describe. What I'm saying is, are we just going to do PC names for less than glorious professions? What did you call the strippers?
Adult entertainment? What did I say?
No. You said like pole dance.
Pole swirlers.
Pole swirlers.
that is a house divided with Megan and I. Not sure how we're going to. Megan's from Scranton. You know this.
I had no idea.
You didn't know my fiance is from Scranton, Pennsylvania?
I had no idea. Like where the office is?
Yeah.
Plus, the first 1,000 fans to the ballpark receive a Brewski Safari hat. Wear it to the zoo.
Very nice.
For
Okay.
your very own zoo video.
There you, it won't be as good as ours, but you can make your own if you want to. So, should we just do the Sounds tickets now? Would that be?
No, I think we should wait.
You got to wait till the end of the hour for the
Yep.
cue to call.
Oh, okay, fine. So, in
If
the
you can
meantime,
guess the entire NFL schedule for the 2025 season,
we'll send you
every
a Sounds game.
You've already got damn near
I was
half
about to
of
say,
it.
we're halfway there, aren't we? All right, so there's been more games that have come out, including the Monday Night Football opener at this point in time. How many? I'm going to take a guess on. Oh wait, are we going to do guesses on Titans primetime games? Or should we do that
in terms of who it would be against?
Yeah, because there's only I am steadfast in that there is only going to be one primetime game for the Tennessee Titans this year.
You're steadfast.
Steadfast.
It'll be interesting. I mean, it's 3-14 versus the number 1 overall pick. For the Panthers, that got them 2 primetime games. So if the over-under is 1.5, I'm going over just because they only got the 1 last year.
Aren't the Carolina Panthers a more popular team than the Tennessee Titans? Like from a television network standpoint. Carolina Panthers have played in Super Bowls. They have had superstars.
They were when they had Cam Newton for sure. And like you said, they've been.
It's like the Titans and Derek.
I mean, they're arguably taking up 2 states, right? Like it is the Carolina Panthers and not the North Carolina Panthers.
And 2/3 of this state does not claim the Tennessee Titans.
And they've been in multiple Super Bowls since the Titans' last Super Bowl appearance.
I would assume that Carolina is a bigger ratings draw. Again, it's probably nitpicking here.
But Nashville is a more recognizable city brand of a city than Charlotte.
Yeah, but they're not going to put, like, if they're on primetime, they're the road team, I bet.
Could it be a divisional game?
Oh, God.
Prime time. I was looking at that Cleveland game. I wondered about that just because of the slightest potential of Shador Sanders versus Cam Ward. I feel like
but what happens when we get to
Joe Flacco versus
Brandon
Cam
Allen
Ward
versus Joe Flacco? Because
don't even speak that into existence. But if outside of the divisional games, I'd say Cleveland is the favorite just for that possibility.
It's between it wouldn't even be the divisional game. It'd be either Cleveland or New England.
Yeah. Yeah, New England
New
definitely
England
could be
makes
up there.
infinitely more sense. Now, that's a home game, but like...
But that's 2 3-win teams from last year.
Yeah, no,
Does the NFL care that much about Mike Vrabel, the former Titans
buddy,
coach?
did you see the hero's welcome that he just spent all offseason getting? He's like a war veteran coming back home.
Yeah, because they love him up there. I'm talking about the NFL.
Nationally.
I'm talking,
I am also talking nationally.
do they care enough about the dynamics between Vrabel and his former
They
team?
didn't care him. No, they don't care about him when he was here. They care about him now that he's there. There has been infinitely more Mike Vrabel coverage now that he's the Patriots coach, as opposed to when he was here for six seasons. Didn't he have the second best winning percentage after like Jack Pardee?
Infinitely more Mike Vrabel coverage. Like what is the hero? I mean, I'm legitimately asking. Like what you say? Heroes welcome. I don't feel like Vrabel's dominated headlines that much.
Oh my God, I feel like
I know they're happy up there, and they made all those signings. They had an offseason kind of similar to what the Titans
every
had
time
last
I
year.
look up this offseason, it feels like he's on.
Every time you look up, you say,
No, don't be dramatic.
me, don't be
You're
dramatic.
being dramatic. Maybe
every time. It's like
one out of every
it's Bill
three
Belichick,
times.
North Carolina, and Mike Vrabel, the New England Patriots. We just can't get him out of the news cycle.
I feel like that's kind of true. Anyway. Who else? I mean, it would be Cleveland or New England. I don't think they'd put an AFC South game on primetime. They've been actively trying to get rid of Titans-Jags since the dawn of time.
You would have an argument now, though, that the number 1 and number 2 overall pick would be playing against each other. Travis Hunter plays Cam Ward. Like, if he's playing secondary, which it doesn't seem like he's going to play a ton of it, like, I could see an argument of being the number 1 and the number 2 overall pick face off.
Mm-hmm.
I could see them spinning that. I don't think it would be a good primetime game. But
especially if Travis Hunter is defending Cam Ward.
But he's not going to be. He's a wide receiver. I mean, I know they plan to play him a little bit on... They're not going to go against one another really that often, though.
Didn't you hear James Gladstone? He's there to push the boundaries of football.
Their ecosystem.
He sounded like he took some... James Gladstone at that press conference sounded like somebody who took a magic mushroom.
Jameson has a theory on the F&M Bank chat. Your idea that Vrabel has dominated headline. He's really just dominated your dreams, and you have mistaken that for a headline. Vrabel, does he visit you in your dreams? Mike, I miss you.
Stop it, Mike. Stop tickling me. Your mustache tickles, Mike.
That makes sense.
That makes more sense. 615-737-1045 is the number. So we'll talk more about what we know about the NFL schedule later, because that's what we were supposed to do here. You want to talk about this Madden movie?
Real quick, what about Mahomes and the Chiefs?
No.
Come on.
They're not wasting a Chiefs primetime game on the Titans.
The Titanic matchup.
What?
I can't think of a bigger draw.
Those games haven't been good since like 2021.
I think
that's not true. The 2022 game was overtime with Malik Willis.
That's right.
They have an uphill battle.
Oh, my God. What was that wide receiver's name?
Chris Conley.
Oh, Chris Conley, Titans legend and Chiefs legend. What, Robert?
What the hell did you want? The Chiefs have, if you look at the Chiefs' home and away opponents, like, it is a murder's row for the Chiefs. So, like, if they're going to give the Chiefs a primetime game, it's not going to be the Titans.
And they're playing Thanksgiving and Christmas. So, Chiefs players, kiss your families goodbye once the season starts. They are playing against the Cowboys on the road on Thanksgiving, and they host the Broncos in the divisional game on Christmas.
God, is that 2 in a row or 3 in a row on Christmas for the Chiefs? That is tough.
Oh, no, didn't they
last year was
submitted
the
a
Raiders.
thing at NFL owners meetings that they wanted Christmas Day?
Oh, well, they can have it. I assume the Ravens have been on, if they are on Christmas Day again this year, this will be the 3rd year in a row the Ravens are on Christmas.
The Chiefs are also at the Giants week 3 of Sunday Night Football. And we get a Super Bowl rematch week 2.
Didn't I just say we were going to do this later?
We have a lot to do later.
We'll talk about the Madden movie
We've
next.
scratched the surface.
Go. Welcome back to the show. Fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. Lunch right around the corner. Maybe it's already started for some of you. If you haven't ordered yet, go to Hattie B's, any one of their Middle Tennessee locations. If you're listening to us somewhere else in the country, there are locations in Birmingham, Dallas, Austin, Vegas, where else? Atlanta. Hattie B's all over the world. 615-737-1045 is the number if you want to jump in. We'll get back to your phone calls momentarily, but there was a picture that came out from Amazon MGM Studios, official Twitter account today. It says your first look at Nick Cage as John Madden and Christian Bale as Al Davis on the set of the upcoming film, Madden. Production is currently underway. The film follows Madden's remarkable journey. Hang on. The tweet is loading. From its Super Bowl winning partnership with Al Davis and the Raiders to creating Madden NFL and becoming one of the most iconic voices in football history. It is a funny picture. I mean, they don't look bad like Christian Bale. Christian Bale has had some of the more fascinating like roles from a visual standpoint of any actor that I can think of.
Oh, from like in terms of going from 0 to 100?
Him as Dick Cheney was crazy.
Well, the craziest transformation he has ever made is from the movie, okay, I'm going to butcher this. Is it The Machinist or The Machinist?
Oh, I thought it was The Machinist.
Okay,
but I don't know.
I think it's The Machinist. I've never seen the movie.
I didn't see the movie either, but I saw what he looked like.
He was emaciated.
Yeah.
He weighed it looked like he weighed 80 pounds. He went from that to Batman Begins.
Yeah.
He had to become Batman after that, a member of the League of Shadows, like in the span of a couple of years. So he is the king of these transformations. I think Christian Bale will make an incredible Al Davis.
Well, you have doubts about my my hero, Nick Cage. I will watch anything that Nick Cage is in just because I love him.
I also love Nick Cage, but this movie is going to be too funny to be good. It will not be an 8, 9, or 10. This will be a 7 to a 7.5
But
max.
that's all I want.
Sure.
You want a serious John Madden movie?
I would like that, yeah. As someone who didn't live through any of the things that he did, I
mean,
would
the
like
documentaries exist, surely.
Sure, but like that's not what this movie's for. Like I would like to see a retelling of this in a non. This is at the beginning of what's that movie we were just talking about, Lucas? Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
There's the trailers for all the fake movies.
Yeah.
Simple Jack. And this seems like a fake trailer that would be at the beginning of an actually real movie.
I love that.
It does. It does. Actually, it's a great comparison.
Also,
I guess that's just not what I was going in. Like, John Madden, I don't know. I know he's super important to the history of football and things like that, but isn't his whole thing that he's a cartoon character?
Sure.
So we're going to do a serious movie about a cartoon character?
I don't need it to be 100% serious. I just think that it's going to be unintentionally funny.
Yeah, like I see what you're saying. Like it's going to be hard to take Nick Cage seriously as John Madden.
I think that Nick Cage, at least at this point of his career, is not interested in trying to make anybody take him seriously. Like,
oh no,
after he did what's the movie about himself?
The weight of my unbearable talent.
Oh, yeah, something like that. The unbearable weight of massive talent.
He played himself,
yes.
Meeting a super fan who lives on an island, which was a good movie. But my criticism for him is the same criticism I have for Vince Vaughn at this stage of his career. Nicolas Cage used to be able to transform himself into the character he was playing.
Sure.
And now it seems like he is now Nicolas Cage playing a character, if that makes sense.
It does make sense.
But it's probably better business for him at this stage of his career to be the character that people have created around him.
Sure.
He has become like the Nickelback of actors, where
careful,
just somewhere along the way. Careful about what?
Don't offend Nickelback.
I'm not slandering Nickelback. Nickelback has its place, but somewhere along the way, Nickelback became a running joke for whatever reason, right? I feel like the same has happened with Nick Cage, who has been a fine actor, has made blockbuster movies his whole career, but somewhere along the way, Nick Cage just became a joke for whatever reason. It almost became ironic.
No, he became a
to
cartoon
want to go to a Nick Cage movie, right?
Sure.
Like people are
He
playing.
has a cult following that way. People sell those pillows where you wipe them one way, it looks like a pillow. You wipe them the other way, it's Nick Cage's face.
Yeah. So
like there's money in it being a bit.
It's like at this point, if you're blasting Nickelback at a party, it's almost like you're doing a bit. Even though Nickelback has a fantastic catalog. I would go to a Nickelback concert tomorrow.
Absolutely.
If they come to Bridgestone Arena, I'm there. The same we were for Creed. We're almost there, ironically, but we had a great time, and we knew half the songs. That's what Nick Cage has become. So I totally understand where Robert is coming from. But gonna watch the movie. It could be good, but it's just going to be hard to see Nick Cage and try to see John Madden.
But I don't know. Like, what is your image of John Madden? It's TV John Madden. You got no concept for Raiders John Madden. So
I know I would like a context for that.
That's what I'm saying.
You have to get it from Nick Cage.
I would love a solid biopic about John Madden.
Again, these things exist, not from Nick Cage.
No, there is no biopic about John. Yeah, there are documentaries, but like I would love like a Timothy Chalamet, Bob Dylan type biopic about John Madden.
Right. Like
I'm down.
I enjoy those type things. And
Me
that
too.
To my next question, is there an athlete outside like that you guys would like to see this style of movie made about? I'll open the proceedings
This
with
style or
Yes.
the style that you want? Because this style is what I want. I want Nick Cage being goofy as John Madden.
Well, okay. The style is a biopic.
Yeah.
Like not not how it's developed or how it's produced
Okay.
or acted. The biopic where people are acting out an autobiography. That is the style I'm asking you about. I will offer Mike Vick to start. I would love to see Vic go up.
What a great submission.
Reach the heights, reach the depths, and then come back out on the other side. And, now you finish the story with him coaching a game at Norfolk State. I would love that. I would love to watch just Vic, the movie.
Ooh, that's a catchy title, too.
It's a great cut.
Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, but those have been done.
What's been done?
On Rodman? I mean, not a biopic. There are documentaries out there.
Yeah, we're not talking about documentaries.
I'll also throw Tim Tebow out there, and you could just call it Tebow.
No, they would find something else. They would find like some sort of Tebowism over the years.
Yeah, or it would be something with religious connotations or something like that, right?
Can you play tight end? The Tim Tebow movie.
No,
I'm still so mad at Urban Meyer for that.
For the Tebow one, I want a terrible Hulu, like what they did with Aaron Hernandez miniseries.
You mean like
That's what I want
the
for the
good
Tebow.
OJ one, but the Cuba Gooding Jr. OJ one?
Exactly, yeah, that's what I want.
With Ross Geller playing
Robert Kardashian.
Kardashian.
That's what I want. I mean, some of the stuff coming out from the Aaron Hernandez.
I remember
Hulu
people
series.
coming up to me about that OJ, the FX OJ one, and be like, "Have you seen this OJ thing?" I'm like, "This is the worst thing I've ever seen. What is wrong with you?"
JR said they need to make a movie about Michael Jordan. They kind of did. Air, which I have not seen yet, but he wasn't in it.
Oh, you didn't see it? Air was good. And Air is really more about Nike than it is about Jordan. Obviously, those two things they're almost inseparable at this point in time, but it's almost like the genesis of their business transaction together as much as it is about Michael.
Will Bowling is in the chat. He says Kobe. I mean, that's a slam dunk. Kobe who would play Kobe?
Oh, man.
I don't know. Don't ask Lucas. He'll probably
He'll name some other black actor.
name.
How does it feel to be the resident show racist?
Hate you guys. I hate you guys.
Why do I want to make Kobe Bryant Don Cheadle? But I don't think, maybe it's just because I watched Ocean's 11 here recently. I'm on a Don Cheadle kick. I don't think that works.
It doesn't work. Yeah, that's tough.
Kobe be tough.
It would be tough because it's like you would have to have different Kobes too. You'd have to have Kobe Bean Bryant. You'd have to have Froby. You'd have to have like all the different iterations of Kobe.
I mean, they just keep putting Michael B. Jordan in sports movies.
And that, unfortunately, that's probably the answer. Like he's kind of like what Denzel Washington was. Like if back in the 90s or early 2000s, you asked somebody like, "Oh, who do you want to play you in a movie?" Probably Denzel Washington.
People are pointing out that Don Cheadle is like 60.
He wasn't in Ocean's 11, all right?
It's like a baby Billy in the last season where he's been an old feeble man.
Don't spoil it.
Oh, they've had plenty of time.
Yeah,
if you hadn't watched it yet, I don't care.
Oh man, but who would play Rodman then? Because Dennis Rodman. Different phases of Dennis Rodman's life. Would you have to do like the CGI thing? You have to make somebody younger in the 90s? I don't know. That'd be
I mean,
tougher
they
to
do
pull
a
off.
lot of that now, right? Is it? I mean, because that's kind of like the whole John Goodman thing in Gemstones. Like when they go back to those
And The Irishman.
the flashback. Oh, The Irishman was way overdone that way.
Yeah, they did. They really leaned into that part of it.
And this has been movie talk.
You know what? I like this submission by Chad on YouTube. Earnhardt Sr.
Mm-hmm. Oh, who would play Earnhardt Sr.?
McConaughey.
Bryan Cranston.
Ooh. I like that.
That's got me a little soggy back here. A little excited.
Why?
That's pretty
Soggy?
good. And now I'm only going to be able to see him wearing that hat, man. That's awesome.
Joshua says Nick Cage as Kobe Bryant.
Yes. Yes. That Kobe Bryant movie I'll watch. It'd be better than 60-year-old
Not the
John.
bean. Not the bean.
Chris Tucker as Rodman.
Oh, my God. Chris Tucker's got to be up there, too, at this point.
We could do this all
Are we
day.
not making new film stars? I mean, I guess it's Timothy Chalamet. Anyway, 615-737.
Timmy Shal.
Timmy Shal for Kobe Bryant.
I mean, the mermaid.
Man's got range.
They switched the Little Mermaid up. You know, we could switch this up.
What do you mean they switched the Little Mermaid up?
Everyone was upset about the Little Mermaid moving from being a pasty white woman to being an African American in the newest.
God, really?
So
who cares?
give Timothy a shot.
It's a mermaid movie.
They're not real. Why was Optimus Prime?
It's not historically accurate.
Shut up. You are not serious. People were butthurt about the Little Mermaid being black in the movie.
Very upset.
Oh,
and
my
Snow White.
God.
And Snow White.
What was she? Well, what was she in Snow White? Who cares?
Yeah.
These aren't real people.
That movie bombed dramatically, Snow White.
What? Oh, God.
But have you seen? So all the
I hate
dwarves,
people
all
for
the
that.
People need
dwarves,
things to complain about.
the dwarves were all CGI'd in Snow White, and it looked horrific. It looked awful,
Which,
which also prompted controversy
yes.
for not hiring
Dinklage
people
was-
to play the dwarves. Instead, they
Oh, Peter
Peter Dinklage-
Dinklage get after their ass?
No, he was like, they shouldn't have to subject themselves to this, like to
Oh,
only playing
okay.
like small people. And then like other small actors were like, no, we would like those roles, please.
I would like a job,
We
please.
would like a job.
I'm just so mad. Pissed me off. Anyway, 615-737-1045 is the number. The Titans have made some roster additions that are worth talking about, and we will talk about the Titans' Week 1 opponent. Is it the worst case scenario for Cam Ward? The final hour is next.
Friends, if you're new to Nashville or you've been here a long time, odds are you've got a clean-out project that the missus wanted to see done by the spring. Well, technically, there's only a few days left in the spring. And the most reliable folks I know that can help you out are my friends at J&J Services. For over 20 years, J&J Services have been providing dumpsters for local businesses, construction sites, home cleanouts, and demolitions. They provide commercial dumpster service for your favorite restaurants and convenience stores. They provide roll-off dumpster service for everyone, from 60-story high-rises to your neighbor's farm. J&J Services can offer trash compactors, making those large loads a little bit smaller. They can even supply you with porta potties for your special event. For the safest, most reliable service you can get in Middle Tennessee, call them for a free quote at 615-599-7778. JNJServices.com, where they always keep it trashy. It is 12:02. Good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Lucas Panzica. The 2025 NFL regular season schedule officially comes out tonight at 7 p.m. with a special on NFL Network. Ari Myrov reported yesterday that the Titans will open the season with a trip to Denver to take on the Broncos for a 3:05 p.m. kickoff on Fox. NBA playoff action tonight. The Knicks try to punch their ticket to the Eastern Conference Finals as they visit the Celtics for Game 5 at TD Garden. Boston is without star Jason Tatum, who suffered a ruptured Achilles in Game 4, tip-off at 6 p.m. In the West, Minnesota hosts Golden State with a 3-1 series lead. No Steph Curry tonight for the Warriors. Tip-off is at 8:30. Stanley Cup playoffs tonight. The Panthers are at the Maple Leafs for Game 5 at 6 o'clock. That series is tied up at 2, and the Oilers can move on to the Western Conference Finals as they have a 3-1 series lead. Puck drops tonight for Edmonton in Vegas at 8:30. Nashville Soccer Club is back at Geodis Park tonight, looking for a fourth straight home win in MLS play as they host the New York Red Bulls. Pre-game coverage on The Zone starts at 7. Kickoff is at 7:30. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Final hour is upon us, and we have Titans transactions to talk about that we have not yet gotten to today. Couple of players that the team added while releasing one more. 2 additions on the defensive side of the ball. Amani Oruwari. I'm sure that's not how I pronounce it. Oruwari?
You're embarrassing yourself.
Am I? Go ahead.
You are traditionally terrible at pronouncing names. Oruwariye. Amani Oruwariye.
Oruwariye.
We'll workshop it.
All right. Very good.
Have some respect. Come on. The guy's a Titan now.
Yeah.
Former Lion and Cowboys corner. Amani Oruwariye added to the Titans cornerback room.
2019 fifth-round pick. And he's been in the league for quite some time. Now, I suppose I could ask over there if I should read anything into this about the Snead situation. Because anytime they're going to add a corner, I think given that there is a legal situation at least up in the air for L'Jarius Snead, it would bear asking. Although it's worth mentioning that he was there when they initially reported. He was in attendance. I know the Titans were getting some heat. I don't know if you guys talked about it last week for like their tug-of-war video that was making the rounds or got aggregated or something like that. Like L'Jarius Snead has been around the building.
Now, this is not like a bottom of the depth chart practice squad churn guy. This is a guy with 40 career starts in the NFL.
So I would just be curious to know, all right, am I reading too much into it if I just assume that they're adding a player in case something happens here that would prevent L'Jarius Snead from being available right away, or at least, in the immediate, that they have to get a player ready because there's still an ongoing legal situation with L'Jarius Snead. I don't know. I don't know the latest on the L'Jarius Snead legal proceedings. Perhaps we can find that out for you and talk about it later in the week. But the other player that they've added is defensive end Carlos Watkins, a former fourth-round pick of the Houston Texans. He has most recently been with the Cowboys, though he has bounced around in a couple of different spots. Texans, Cowboys, Cardinals, Rams, Commies, and Cowboys again last year. 6'3", 305 pounds. And he comes in here. Abdullah Anderson is the player that is released. And he gave them a couple of snaps last year after their injuries started to pile up. But a corner who's played a fair amount of football and a defensive end who's played a fair amount of football. Does this satisfy whatever need Titans fans may have at the edge situation? I don't think so. I think you could still stand to add a player of, and I'm just going to keep bringing up his name. I'm trying to manifest it into existence for you all. Zadarius Smith's caliber. I think that he is the thing that makes the most sense for a team like this. Price dependent. But if you're just going to try and bargain basement your way through this, it's kind of like a different version of the conversation we had yesterday, right? How many games is Carlos Watkins worth versus Zadarius Smith? And they're not the same position, but not sure how entirely he's going to be deployed in this defense.
how many games is he worth?
Like him versus Zadarius Smith. So basically what I'm asking you is, are you just trying to win more games this year? Because if you are just trying to win more games in the immediate this year, then I would say go ahead Zadarius Smith or trade for Trey Hendrickson or something like that. If you are okay with kind of letting this thing play itself out a little bit, you don't want to take snaps from a developmental guy, you could say this with the wide receiver position or the edge spot. What is more preferable for this coaching staff in this front office? To sign vets who can come in and play right away and probably give you more in the immediate, or to let Femi Oladejo, Chimere Dike, Alec Ayamander get those snaps and develop as a result of playing time?
I mean, they want to win more games this year, but I don't think they want to make big swing kind of moves that could jeopardize your assets down the line in order to do so in the short term, if that makes sense, which is what makes a Trey Hendrickson trade pretty unlikely given their general philosophy at the moment. He's 30 years old. He'll be 31 by the end of the season, and you're talking about, having to give up. Well, what did we say? Maybe something like a third-round pick, and then have to pay the guy
higher than a fourth because of the contract. Because Jameson on YouTube says Callahan is trying to keep his job. Callahan doesn't have roster control, so that's not.
But they do want to win games though this year, and so
of course.
I don't think signing a guy like Zadarius Smith runs counter to your philosophy, your long-term philosophy here of wanting to build out via the draft. Zadarius Smith is 32. He will be 33. Right around week 1, September 8th, he turns 33.
Yeah, so he makes more sense because that, to me, strikes me as more of a one-year rental. Let me just get one more more bite of the apple.
At a spot where you just desperately need bodies at this point.
Yeah.
So I don't see a market value for him. I'm looking at his Spot Track profile.
Oh, a valuation?
But I don't know. I don't know what Zadarius Smith would cost, but I mean, he brought some juice to the Lions.
They were bad.
Yeah, Aiden Hutchinson goes down, and that's who they brought in to replace him. And he certainly was no Aiden Hutchinson, but he didn't give them nothing coming in their playoff run. Like the Lions were not bounced because of Zadarius Smith.
Palace on YouTube says that didn't stop us from trading for Julio Jones. Why shouldn't that apply to Hendrickson? That's one of the dumbest comments I've ever read. They could not be further
apart. 3 general managers ago.
And also, you were good at football then. You were in the middle of your competitive life cycle.
That's hilarious.
You were competing for the AFC Championship. You were vying for the number 1 overall seed when you traded for Julio. You had a quarterback, a running back, 2 wide receivers that were of a reasonably high level. You had enough on defense that you thought you were going to be able to make it work. You were competing at the top. You were trying to get things to get you over the top. Right now, you are just trying to get out of the basement.
Yeah, but even all that is besides the point. Like, every single decision maker in that building that's not the owner at the time of the Julio trade is gone. To take that and apply, they did this back in, what was that, 2020? So why 2021. Why wouldn't they do it in 2025? Because everybody in there is different. Come on. What are we doing?
Yeah, they're bored, I think, at this point. They're just waiting for their next Cam Ward thirst trap on Twitter. They're just trying to kill time by throwing out players that make no sense. Some that do, but some that just absolutely have no grounding in reality at this point in time. Trey Hendrickson is not. It would run completely antithetical to who this front office keeps trying to tell you that it is. What they end up being, only their actions can determine. But what they keep saying, Trey Hendrickson would not make sense.
You got to think at least some tires are going to be kicked on Zadarius Smith.
Oh, sure. It just depends on what he wants. Like, does he want a longer-term deal, even though he's longer in the tooth? Does he want more guaranteed money? Does he want to play for a Super Bowl? Does he just want a paycheck? Like, there are a variety of different things that could impact the negotiations around Zadarius Smith. A situation to keep an eye on. Titans cornerback depth. Not a bad thing to add more depth, Snead or not. You need more corners. You need more defensive linemen. You've added both, and Abdullah Anderson is apparently not what they wanted as much as they wanted somebody like Carlos Watkins, so they swap one for the other, somebody who's got significantly more playing experience.
The Gabe Judy Lawley portion will be interesting. I wonder what kind of shot he has to make this team in 2025.
You and his family are the only people that are wondering that.
I heard Blaine and Zach talking about it yesterday too. Just that depth churn
Lawley
at cornerback. I mean, right now your cornerback room is made up of
but this
L'Jarius
guy
Sneed
is not
at the moment.
like you're not talking about this guy competing for like Gabe Judy Lawley's roster spot.
Amani Oruwariye now joins that room. Jarvis Brownlee, Roger McCreary, Daryl Baker, and then you get down to the Gabe Judy Lawleys.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Not really. If you want to get that into the weeds on the roster stuff before training camp, I guess we could, but I haven't given him a second thought, other than he's a nice guy. And best of luck, I hope, to him, whether it's here or elsewhere. Anyway, the week 1 opponent for the Tennessee Titans is out. I think it is the worst case scenario for Cam Ward. We'll talk about it next. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. 615-737-1045 is the number. So we know that the Titans will be in Denver in week 1. That was first reported by Jordan Schultz of Fox Sports. It will be on Fox, as a matter of fact. Bo Nix and the Broncos open their season at home with the number 1 overall pick, Brian Callahan, Jeff Simmons, Tennessee Titans, in Denver. It's a 3:05 Central Time kick, so maybe you get one 3 p.m. kick. Maybe this is like the Chargers game last year, that you get one primetime game, and then the NFL says, all right, that's enough. We'll put the rest of your games on noon. And, of course, we'll have the schedule reaction tonight at 7 p.m. when, Bert, we'll just be able to go live at 7 p.m. because they send me that at like 6:45. I just can't tweet about it until 7 for primetime tonight. So we'll knock that out, and we'll be able to react to the schedule in full with you.
Remember the last time? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Robert.
Yeah, if we're planning on starting at 7, that means we'll be live somewhere between 7:15 and 7:38 p.m. tonight.
What's the latest? It's probably 7:40 is the latest.
Nah, we never went that late. I think we've gone on at like 25 before.
Some of these road games, I'm running around all over the place. I don't know what time it is.
Remember the last time the Titans went to Denver?
Was that the COVID game? Gostkowski?
Week 1 of COVID year.
Ugh.
Yeah, Gostkowski meltdown. He did end up kicking the game winner. They escaped. It was the Jarrell Casey revenge game shortly before his injury in his lone season with the Broncos. And the Titans just barely.
Oh, my God, that was one of the 2 Casey Broncos games he played.
Yeah, because it was week 1.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the Gostkowski sock game, I believe.
Nightmare.
Where he's like trying it without a sock, with the sock.
I forgot about the sock thing.
Yeah, it was empty stadium, not a soul in Mile High.
What a dumb year that was.
And that was a doubleheader to open the season on Monday Night
It was
Football.
a night. Thank God.
It was a late game.
The only good thing to result from COVID was that being a COVID game that we could not travel to, because a second game of a Monday night doubleheader in week 1 at Denver is hell. So yes, it could always be worse, I suppose. But this is not a particular great. I mean, if you were looking for an ideal circumstance for Cam Ward to start his NFL career, you would not pick at Denver, right? The degree of difficulty of playing at Denver is as tough because of what Denver brings, the elements, the altitude, how much more physically exhausting it is. Fair to expect that in early September, it will still be at least somewhat warm in Denver. If it's a 3 o'clock kick, what is that? They're mountain time, right? They're not Pacific. Colorado's, I would think that Denver is mountain time, but you can fact check me on that.
Currently, in Denver, Colorado, it is 11:23 a.m.
So if it's a 3 o'clock kick here, then it would be a 2 o'clock kick there. So you're right in the middle of the heat of the day at altitude. First NFL game. Denver defense, there's tough players all over the NFL, but you're going up against, isn't Pat Surtain the reigning defensive player of the year?
Is he the defensive player of the year?
Pat Surtain won defensive player of the year last year.
I think you're right. Yes, he is the defensive player of the year. He had more interceptions than 20-yard completions allowed last season. 4 picks, 2 completions of 20 or more yards allowed. Jordan DeJaney of CBS compiled a lot of numbers.
What corner did they just draft to go with him? Because I really like.
Right, I was about to say Jahdae Barron.
Jahdae Barron,
Jim Thorpe winner last year for the best defensive back in college football. Obviously, should have gone to Travis Hunter. I remember us being upset about that in the moment. But the Denver defense last year, number 1 in the NFL in sacks with 63.
Yeah.
Number 2 in the NFL in pressure percentage at 40%. 4th in the NFL in blitz percentage. They come after you. 37% in 2024. 6 different players that recorded 5 or more sacks. That was tied for second most by a team in NFL history. Zach Allen became just the 5th player over the last 15 years to record 40 QB hits in a season, while Nick Bonito and Jonathan Cooper recorded the most sacks by any NFL duo with 24. And they had, like you said, the defensive player of the year. They added Dre Greenlaw this year. They drafted Jahdae Barron. That is, again, Jordan DeJaney compiling that stuff. That is Cam Ward's first game as the quarterback of the Tennessee Titans, that defense.
All right, so no game in the NFL is easy, and upsets happen all the time. So could the odds be stacked against the Titans and Cam Ward at Denver? How many What do you think what are you throwing your hands up in the air about? You finally get a Ravens schedule leak? He's been bitching at us the entire time that the entire Giants schedule has been leaked and he can't find one Ravens game back there.
Well, we have the full Week 1 primetime schedule, if you guys would like to hear it.
Let's do it.
Cowboys and Eagles, we knew that. Thursday night kickoff. Chiefs and Chargers, Friday night Brazil, we knew that. Ravens at Bills, Sunday night football. And your Monday night football will be Vikings at Bears. I don't understand why the Ravens are asked to play the toughest Week 1 game every single year. Last year having to open in Arrowhead, now having to open in Orchard Park.
Divisional round rematch.
Why does God give his toughest battles to his toughest soldiers?
And the Eagles just get the Cowboys.
And the Cowboys!
Yeah.
Hey, that's what you get for winning the Super Bowl,
the defending
baby.
No, because the Chiefs got the Ravens last year.
They did. They had to host the Ravens.
The Cowboys are a tomato. I mean, maybe they'll be better with Dak back from injury and CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, but, like, I don't know if that's ever...
So that's two straight years of the Ravens having to go to the team that eliminated them from the playoffs in Week 1.
Terrible.
They'll probably have to play on Christmas, too. But
it's an awesome game. So for the rest of us, we're delighted by it. For you, I understand why you're miserable.
It is an awesome game.
It is a great game.
You know what I was thinking about the other day before we get back into the Cam Ward stuff?
I have to stop you.
Okay.
Because the Jets reportedly will visit the Pittsburgh Steelers in Week 1.
Oh, no.
This is from Pro Football Talk. Matt O'Leary, though, of the Just Jets podcast is reporting it, and Mike Florio is running with it.
No.
So we're
He's
talking
gonna
about
make a whole thing out of this, isn't he?
I'm so stupid. I was like, who cares? Justin Fields played like 6 games for them last year. Who cares?
No.
Justin Fields.
I get it now.
And Aaron Rodgers, assuming Aaron Rodgers signs with Pittsburgh against their former teams.
That's going to be, there is not a more annoying Week 1 game than that one. Get that off my television screen. God, the week of coverage leading up to Jets Steelers with Aaron Rodgers, the revenge game.
No, I can't wait. I hope it's messy. I hope it's a terrible game.
I mean, it will be a terrible game. They just, again, think about this, because this is kind of off my point. The Steelers are just completely content to trade away George Pickens. And it's kind of crazy that George Pickens was such an attitude problem sometimes that Mike Tomlin would make that guy a healthy scratch in some games in his career. How is that going to go for Brian Schottenheimer, the Cowboys coach? You're the Dallas Cowboys coach. You're a first-time NFL head coach. Mike Tomlin isn't putting up with George Pickens stuff. Mike Tomlin, who has survived Antonio Brown, Lev Bell, Ben Roethlisberger, all these different dramatic situations. They send George Pickens to Dallas, and that they're just going to drop that in Brian Schottenheimer's life. I mean, Brian Schottenheimer been an NFL lifer, right? But, like, you're a head coach now. Now you have to handle all of these situations. George Pickens is not who I would want dropped in my lap that way.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how he kind of handles it. But again, if George Pickens, when he's on, like, that's going to be a nightmare. George Pickens on one side, CeeDee Lamb on the other.
Yeah, sure, but how many more games is he going to be on for? Like, this is the kind of situation. All right. Every player who's left Pittsburgh that had an attitude issue or something going on with them.
Yeah.
How much more exposed did that get after they were
It definitely got
not
more
being
exposed.
protected by the Steelers?
It's not like none of them had success. Antonio Brown won a Super Bowl, but I understand he was with Tom Brady, and then it went nuclear after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see.
Those things don't typically.
History does not favor the George Pickens Cowboys situation, for sure.
So anyway, an aside. But
Jets Steelers Week 1 is fantastic.
Disgusting.
It's fantastic.
I hate the NFL for that.
Surely Aaron Rodgers is a Steeler now. I mean, there's just no.
He's going to end up in the New Orleans on the New Orleans Saints just to bother people. I don't know. So this is not necessarily a fair fight for Cam Ward, but okay, what is in the NFL? You're going to be up against some situation, no matter what. How do you think the conversation's going in Denver today? Denver thinking the Titans are a tomato can? Denver chalking Week 1 up to a win? At home? Coming off, I mean, he could have been the offensive rookie of the year, if not for
almost any other year he would have been.
The existence of Jaden Daniels.
Like Robert and I last Friday looked at the last 10 offensive rookie of the year winners, 5 of them quarterbacks, and the numbers on a lot of them didn't jump off the page. Like Kyler Murray had decent numbers as a rookie. They didn't make the playoffs. They weren't very good. Justin Herbert had more than good enough, Justin Herbert. Bo Nix, another former Oregon quarterback, had more than good enough numbers to win Rookie of the Year. Jaden Daniels just had a historic season. But it's week one. It's a wild card.
No, sure. Week one is the dumbest week of the NFL season.
Yeah, no,
sure.
It's not like they're going to go into it like, oh, Titans got a bye week to start the season.
People will,
but Bronco fans, I'm sure, will be puffing their chest. Like they'll be happy that,
and they should.
Yeah, they'll be happy this is Cam Ward's introduction to the NFL.
Yeah, because it's hardly a gimme. Benjamin says they would overlook the Titans if it wasn't for their coach. What do you mean? They would overlook?
Talking about Sean Payton, I guess. I don't know.
That doesn't make sense.
Or maybe that's where Brian Callahan's career began.
It did.
That's what they're saying.
Like that's the only tangential connection between these two.
But it's hard to find a tougher road matchup in terms of the defense he'll be facing and what they did last year for Cam Ward. Just given we can find better defenses, even though Denver's defense was in that upper tier. But in terms of who the Titans have as their opponents in 2025, I mean, you'd rather face any defense on your schedule, on your road schedule, to ease Cam Ward into his NFL career over Denver. I mean, any of these, even San Francisco. I mean, would you rather go to San Francisco to face the Niners, you think, than Denver to face the Broncos in that defense?
San Francisco to face the Niners.
Like,
no.
well, yeah, I'd rather go to.
No, the Niners are not what they used to be as far as the defensive front, and they've continued to add pieces and parts there, but like they've kind of run out of gas as far as they were just investing first round pick after first round pick on their defensive line for the longest, and they've tried to supplement it since then, but they've had to pay guys, they've had to let guys go, they had to trade DeForest Buckner. Like it's not quite as fearsome as it used to be.
And it's so rare. We don't see these rookie quarterbacks just take the ball and go week one that way. Like even Jaden Daniels had to grow into the season last year.
Oh, yeah, no, he's going to be in a blender
right?
week one.
Like Caleb Williams looked like he had no idea what was happening against the Titans in week one last year. I mean, the best rookie performance that is flashing in my mind was Mariota against a bad Bucs team in that game between Mariota and Winston.
And Marcus was good in that game, and Jameis was bad in that game. I mean, what did he have, 2 pick sixes in that game, Jameis? He had at least one. I would almost be more skeptical. This is how much the NFL week one is in my head. I would almost be more skeptical if Cam Ward went out there and lit it up in week one, like Will Levis style. I would almost be more scared of that at this point in my career than if he didn't struggle, you know?
Yeah, it will make much more sense if Cam Ward struggles in week one. All these quarterbacks last year, Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, and Jaden Daniels.
I mean, he's going to struggle all year long. Like, let's not. They are an improved football team. He will improve them, and he will improve as the season goes along. But I'm not expecting Cam Ward. I just think it's unreasonable to have expectations of Cam Ward that he's just going to come in and take over the league the way that Jaden Daniels did.
So this is our preemptive keep your powder dry conversation. If Cam Ward struggles week one against an elite defense in the NFL from last season.
Oh, yeah, because people are going to freak the hell out. People are going to assign way too much value to week one, as is always the case.
And one of the tougher road environments in the NFL to boot. Man, that is brutal, man. What do the Titans got to do to I know the Ravens are having a tough slate of week one games, but last Titans season opener at home was it that Giants
Arizona
game?
No, Giants. Yeah. Giants was a week.
Giants, Randy Bullock missed field goal. Saquon Barkley going crazy. Yeah. That was 2022.
It was 2022.
So this will be 3 straight years of on the road week one.
But they had a streak like that prior to that Giants game. Like they opened up. Didn't they open up with the Cardinals in 21?
At home.
Lawan got his ass kicked.
At home,
And then prior to that, they had like a run of 3 straight road openers.
Yeah, 20 was in Denver. 19 was in Cleveland.
Yep.
18, the first Vrabel game was Miami, the longest game in NFL history.
Yeah. So, I mean, these things go back and forth that way. As far as the rest of this goes, we talked about this earlier. If you set the Titans primetime games over-under at 1.5, the two of you, Lucas and Robert, are going to go over. You're going to go over 1.5 on primetime games for the Titans.
I'm going to play the odds just because they only had one last year and they have the number 1 overall pick, although I am not very confident in playing those odds. It's definitely not a slam dunk.
I am going to go under. I think they're going to classify this Denver kickoff as a pseudo primetime game for the Titans, and then I think they're going to put them on a Monday Night Football game in the first 6 weeks on the road. that just feels like the most NFL thing to do to the Titans. And by the way, it's not like it's not deserved. It's a small market team with a small national footprint, very small relative to the rest of the NFL brands, with a team that doesn't have stars other than the quarterback, and who the quarterback, we don't even know if he's a star yet or not, but he's a Heisman Trophy finalist. He's a famous name. He's the number 1 pick in the draft. So Cam Ward having as much juice as could be brought to the situation, but I would have such low expectations if I was a Titans fan as far as primetime games go. I would love to see, I don't know which AFC South team I would like to see Cam Ward against first. It's probably the Jags, right? Just because of the off chance that Travis Hunter plays a handful of defensive snaps early on. It's disappointing the idea that they're not really going to get to square off that way, Cam Ward versus Travis Hunter, because he's drafted there to be a wide receiver. He'll be a part-time player on defense in some form or fashion, so they'll see each other at some point. But if you had to pick one of the other 3 AFC South teams to see Cam Ward debut against in his divisional career, you probably pick Jacksonville.
Yes, but I'd pick Jacksonville because it's a new era and they're trying to get it off the ground.
2 of them?
Do what?
New era for who?
For Jacksonville. Like new coach,
for both of them.
New GM, new everything.
The Titans and Jags.
I mean, I guess the Titans are in a new era, but there's more continuity there than there is in Jacksonville.
Sure, but like Brian Callahan's the continuity. and Brinker, I guess, but a lot of it's a good bit of it new.
Is it weird I'd want to see them open their division up against the Colts?
No.
I would like to see how well Cam Ward is dealing with the issues that come with being a rookie, starting your first year in the league.
And they've got Lou Anarumo now, too. You know he's going to throw all kind of crap at him.
Well, opposite someone else who has been in the league for 3 years, and Anthony Richardson and potentially Daniel Jones, however that quarterback battle stands up. Anthony Richardson, this will be his 3rd year in the league. So comparatively, I think Cam Ward could come out looking more impressive than a all-traits team quarterback who has not realized his heights. I would want him to have, in wrestling terms, this would be a squash match. I would like Cam Ward to come out, show what he's able to do across from someone that he is better than.
He is definitively better than Anthony Richardson before he takes a snap in the NFL?
I wouldn't say definitively. I just think he is better at playing the quarterback position.
Yeah. Oh, no, indisputably.
He was a definitively better college player.
Yes.
Like, the gap it's huge.
How crazy is it that this is year 3 for Richardson and Levis and Stroud? Like, I don't know. I mean, Stroud, the only one that has anything to stand on at this point in time. Bryce Young, you know what? If I was betting one team's win total over, it'd be the Panthers. I thought the Panthers played appreciably better down the stretch. And you know, nobody was paying attention at that point in time because their season was a catastrophe right out of the gate, and Young gets benched, and Dalton comes in, and then Young comes back because Dalton gets injured, and didn't he have a car accident or something like that? Family car accident?
Something like that, yeah.
Kind of situation.
The thing that paid dividends for the Panthers were their investment in the offensive line.
Yes.
Because of the money they poured into it at both the guard positions.
But I thought they were going to be better. They had a solid offensive line unit the year they drafted Young, and they were awful.
Sure. A lot of guys fell off, and then they had a lot of guys playing out of position due to injury. But last year, the offensive line meshed together really well. The running game kind of hit its stride with Chuba Hubbard. He went down late in the season with an injury, but they reinvested in that position after Jordan Brooks is going to miss the entire season after being placed on the PUP, drafting Trevor Etienne out of Georgia. So they continue to invest in that room. I think that's what the turnaround with the Panthers for. Dave Canales kind of figured that out for them.
Last call for phone calls if you got them. 615-737-1045. Are you going to do SEC observations today or not? You just punting?
Yeah.
Mailing in your...
Do the SEC stat of the day on Friday.
Your responsibility?
We are kind of monitoring the potential of the SEC moving to a 9-game slate, as there's reports that ESPN will pay more money for it. Those negotiations haven't happened, but that was a conversation that we were having 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That is coming back around, as there is no certainty moving forward about the SEC schedule long term. I will say Tennessee announced its Checker Neyland game for 2025, and we'll tell you what it is next.
Ooh. Go. Two Rivers Ford is the South's most trusted Ford dealer for a reason, because they've been in business for over 40 years, operating with honesty and integrity. And this coming weekend, they have a great event that they invite you to be a part of. It's a free family event, as a matter of fact, this Saturday from 9 to noon to celebrate Police Week. Blue and You is your chance to engage with local law enforcement and first responders. You can bring the kids to meet and mingle with the dedicated officers who work around the clock to keep our community safe. Explore the inside of a police car, check out the tools of the trade, get to know the first responders of the Mount Juliet Police Department. There will be free items for the kids, Chick-fil-A biscuits while supplies last from Chick-fil-A Providence, plus a chance to win great door prizes like free oil changes, family packs of tickets to the Nashville Zoo, and family packs of tickets to Holiday World Splash and Safari. Show your support and celebrate Police Week with Blue and You this Saturday, May 17th from 9 to 11 a.m. at Two Rivers Ford, 76 Belinda Parkway, Mount Juliet. Welcome back to the show. Speaking of making money, Derrick Henry going to make some money with the Baltimore Ravens. Just got a contract extension, 2 years, $30 million. $25 million fully guaranteed over the next 2 seasons per Todd France of Athletes First, his lead representation. It is the largest deal in NFL history for a running back over 30 years old. Are you happy? Are you excited back there, your boy?
Woohoo!
Is he your king now, not their king
He's
anymore?
our king. He's never coming home.
Never coming home.
He
lives in Dallas.
Do you assume this, or the way this reads like he had a year left on his contract. This seems like they added 2 years to it, so he would be under contract from 25, 26, 27, or is this just another year added on top of what he was going to make?
It sounds to me like it is the former, which you've just described.
Yeah, that's how I read it.
It would keep basically everything that I know about how much longer Derrick Henry wants to play has something to do with Eric Dickerson, and he wants to play for 3 more years. So I don't know if that's the age that Eric Dickerson retired or if there's some statistical achievement he's trying to accomplish that Eric Dickerson currently holds.
That would put him at exactly 3 more years.
Yes. So 3 more years is what I know of Derrick Henry. So that would keep it in the timeline. I would expect that to come to an end at the end of the contract. But he wants to do it for 3 more years.
It's interesting to see kind of the effect that last year's season from the running back position has had on the market, because we were having these big conversations of, okay, is the league appreciating running backs again?
Where it wasn't just us. They got on a Zoom call together.
No, for sure. But it turns out not really. Like Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry had the seasons they had. They got their deals. Nobody else really did. Like Najee Harris getting a year and $9-10 mil with the Chargers. But like James Cook is still asking for that money after leading the NFL in rushing touchdowns last year. And the Bills don't look like they want to give it to him. So I don't think last year was the rising tide lifting all boats that a lot of running backs hoped it would be, just for the special ones like Saquon and Derrick Henry. This is obviously well-deserved.
He is going to have a more successful career where? Because it will then be 6 years in Tennessee and, 4 total years?
It wasn't like 8 years in Tennessee.
Was it 8 years?
Yeah, drafted in 16 through 2023.
But will he win more in Baltimore?
TBD.
There's no way to answer that question, obviously. Robert is nodding his head yes vigorously. In his Ravens, what are you wearing? A Ravens hoodie today?
This is an ECU hoodie. Don't you do that to me.
Oh, I didn't see the pirate logo. I saw purple and black all over you. I assumed it was Ravens. Is that why you're a Ravens fan? Same color scheme?
No, but it's crazy it worked out like that because I'm also a Raptors fan. So it's like purple. That's why I feel like if I ever like a Major League Baseball team, it would have to be the Rockies. Like I would have to keep purple.
Not after they just lost 21-0 over the weekend.
But again, their mascot is a dinosaur. I can deal with that.
615-737-1045. Last call for phone calls. How about, is it Lewis or Louis? Wherever. He's in Las Vegas.
Hey, guys. Appreciate you for taking my call.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm really late, but I had a dumbest thing in sports little thing. I caught wind yesterday from Athlon Sports that the LA Sparks, just a couple of days before the WNBA season starts, they are refunding all season ticket holders all of their money so they can sell it for more money when they were 8-32 last year. So I just thought that was probably the dumbest thing that I've ever heard for a crappy football team.
Basketball. But I appreciate the call. Thank you, Lewis. No way. So that can't be real. They're offering refunds so they can charge more money the second time. Okay, here it is. Refunding all season tickets so they can sell them for more money. With interest in the WNBA growing at an accelerated pace, we are constantly analyzing and evaluating our business strategies and opportunities to enhance the fan experience. To that end, we have determined that we need to make some adjustments which will directly impact your account. This is from Sparks Senior Vice President Jerry Murphy, who wrote this email to season ticket holders. I've never heard anything like that.
Very strange.
Yes, because you please bring your car back. We did some analysis and realized you paid far too little for your car.
We have to charge you entirely more money.
What happened is
terrible.
We have to move some money around. What's the Kevin Hart bit? I need 2 business days, go into checking, into savings.
I don't think I've ever watched Kevin Hart.
You never watched Kevin Hart special?
No, I don't watch stand-up like that.
The
only time I've watched stand-up is because you guys Shane Gillis kept popping up everywhere. So I'm like, all right, I guess I'll watch.
2012 or 11 or whatever it was, Kevin Hart on top of the world.
Yeah, well,
with
you
his
used to
special.
like stadium tours and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, still does.
Still upset at the Sparks never getting back to me about their male practice players. I sent in a highlight tape, sent in
Oh,
visuals.
you didn't see Cameron Brink's response to people like you?
No, she was talking about the perverts out there. I actually want to help
Not
the
the
Sparks
athletes.
get better. I want to help practice with rebounding, assisting, being screens, anything of that ilk.
Did you send them the zoo video?
I sent the tryouts were way before that,
Okay.
but I should follow up with the zoo video, and I could potentially go out there and interview some Sparks players.
Easton Freeze is reporting that the Titans' home opener will be Week 2, hosting the Los Rams.
Okay, there you go.
Another tough early season
That's
matchup.
not an easy game.
Murderers Row. What,
2?
Chiefs Week 3? Let's just get
The season going to be over in October again? Damn it!
Week 3, it's being announced the Titans will play the 1985 Bears.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
God. People are going to lose their damn minds.
A bunch of divisional matchups Week 1,
Man,
too.
that's going to suck, though. If they have zero juice coming out of their first 2 weeks of football, that would suck.
Week 1 divisional matchups, Cowboys-Eagles, which we know, Chiefs and Chargers in Brazil in the AFC West. You got Giants at Commanders, Lions at Packers, all in Week 1.
All right, Eric is up next, and then we'll do some polls. Hey, Eric.
As you were doing Dumb Thing Sports, but this thing was
It's like 2 hours ago. Like, people calling for the dumbest thing in sports right now.
Well, this is pretty dumb, but not only that, it's disgusting. It was the game Saturday night between the Cincinnati Reds and the Houston Astros. Lance McCullers was on the mound pitching. He hadn't pitched in 3 years. 3 years coming back from injury. He gave up 7 runs in the first inning, and overall the Reds scored 10 runs. After he got off the mound, fans started immediately sending him death threats and violent, disgusting things toward him, his wife, and his children. I mean, you got to cut the guy some slack. I mean, he hadn't pitched in 3 years, been hurt. He's fighting to come back to your hometown team, and this is how you treat him. So that was mine, guys. Y'all take care, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Eric.
Nothing will bring us to a screeching halt like Eric's dumbest thing submissions.
I miss Eric calling in with some just absolutely terrible thing going on in the world.
It's like they've always got something to do with like death threats or domestic violence or, I mean, thank God it's the end of the show. It's just a screeching halt. Also, 2 hours late.
No, Eric, never stop. Stop calling in.
We got multiple guys. That guy waited an hour to tell me about the LA Sparks.
It's like we'll be doing what made you say, oh no, in sports. And Eric will call in with just this absolute disaster that happened somewhere on the other side of the world. Never stop, Eric.
Anyway, here's this.
What is this show?
Presented by Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer. Which Titans game would you want to be in primetime? Eldon says, bring back the Titans-Jags Thursday night games. Kenneth wants the Patriots game, as does John, to be in primetime.
I rescind my guess. Well, I guess I didn't rescind anything because I'm going under 1.5. I bet the Denver game is the latest kickoff that they have.
How many primetime games will the Titans get? Over, under 1.5. 68 are saying under. Everybody else saying over.
Under.
What sports figure do you want to see a movie about that has not been made yet? Oh, V-Love says Doc Ellis throwing a no-hitter while on LSD.
Yes. So good.
Put that in a movie. Who directs that?
Ryan Coogler.
No. Who does all the movies where they get super gory at the end? Django.
Oh, Tarantino.
Oh, Tarantino.
He would crush that.
Something terrible would happen at the end.
Exactly. He would totally twist the history of what actually happened.
Real. If you're watching a movie, you don't want it all grounded in reality.
Yeah. After you're done with your zone viewing day, everybody go on YouTube, search Doc Ellis illustration, and they have a reimagining from an artist who Doc Ellis is telling the story, and they're drawing everything he says.
Oh, nice.
And it is an exceptional piece of media.
I bet it is.
But also go watch the install first.
Karen says Pete Rose, who is now eligible to be in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
That's so stupid.
Christoforo says Pat Tillman. Obviously, there should be a movie done about Pat Tillman. Tiny Tim says Bill Belichick, of course.
Is it more interesting than his book?
Who plays Belichick?
Nicolas Cage plays
Nicolas Cage as Bill Belichick in... What's the movie called?
Bill.
Do your job.
On to Cincinnati.
Do your job.
On to Canton. Oh, do your job is a great one, too.
Yeah. Well, they already have one. I just stole that from the NFL Network.
Those are the polls.
All right. That's the show. Prime time, we will react to the schedule release in full tonight. A to Z Sports. Look forward to getting into all the ins and outs of that with you there. Have a great day.
Hey, guys, it's Lucas. If you can't make it out to Geodis Park tonight for the Nashville SC game, there will be a crew of Nashville SC fans watching in Nashville's premier soccer pub, Fog Street Lawn Club, the perfect escape from all the hustle and bustle of downtown Nashville while experiencing Music City. You head up to that rooftop. It's the best rooftop view in Nashville, bar none. And it's not just for soccer. NBA, NHL playoffs, great for all sports. The downstairs has tons of space, big bar area, tables and TVs everywhere with an awesome menu of British pub-style food. Try the fish and chips. My recommendation, the Irish whiskey burger, but you can't miss. Plus a large drink selection with happy hour Monday through Thursday, 3 to 6 p.m. Fog Street Lawn Club is great because you'll never get bored. You can play lawn bowling or cornhole for free on that gorgeous rooftop, or go downstairs, head next door for some axe throwing at Bad Axe. I will see you there at Fog Street Lawn Club all summer long, located near the Gulch in the upcoming Pie Town neighborhood. Fog Street Lawn Club, located on Fog Street.